better call it off. Billy Bob Thornton, Holly Berry playing Monsters Ball. Yeah. Off the counter to the floor, I jump out into your door. Getting cloudy with the phones, can you please give me a minute? Girl, we going night, night, drifting to a different world. We gonna see a bright light, yeah. I'm the quarterback like Red Bar, look up in the sky. Girl, you might just see a red star, yeah. You my partner, please don't leave. Every time I see you go, got me dropping to my knees, oh yeah. I'm not a hater, but your ex, he look like a pet alligator, yeah. You sweet as candy, girl, I want you now and later. That jiggle you got, can you show what power made of? Flex, yeah. Okay, flex, yeah. Okay, damn. Girl, even God wanna see it move, damn. Girl, even God wanna see it shake. Flex, yeah. Okay, flex, yeah. Okay, damn. Girl, even God wanna see it move, damn. Girl, even God wanna see it shake. Ain't really tryna rep you out. It's like your chick done got in trouble by the other one. It's looking like a waterbed that's gotten troublesome. Got me distracted, soon your booty do the double dutch. Damn. You and your butt is like a different being. When we together, got me thinking it's relating me. But we so far that all we do is toxic chemistry. If my head was a puzzle, your booty is a missing piece, yeah. We ain't chillin' at no trap spot. On that booty, I been good, cop, bad cop. If it's cold, why you go, make it that hot. Fuck what you listen to on your laptop, yeah. Cause baby, they ain't stay right. They even got you out here, baby, bear Christ. That lingerie tonight, I hope you wear it tight. If that booty was a football girl, I'm very right. Flex, yeah. Okay, flex, yeah. Okay, damn. Girl, even God wanna see it move, damn. Girl, even God wanna see it shake. Flex, yeah. Okay, flex, yeah. Okay, damn. Girl, even God wanna see it move, damn. Girl, even God wanna see it shake. Let's go play some baby Jamie. I just wanna see you. It's fire in the jingle. Let's go play some baby Jamie. I just wanna see you. It's fire in the jingle. Let's go play some baby Jamie. I just wanna see you. It's fire in the jingle. Let's go play some baby Jamie. I just wanna see you.
Now, look, check this out. Y'all got some energies that y'all got to get prepared for that you might not be able to get prepared for because it might not be a lot of energy of people talking about it online. And that's what we talking about, the grand Earth Trine. And anytime we got a grand anything, it's a main center focus. And we're going to have that gift, but it's not always a good gift. Remember, the alignment is not the importance. With two planets or zodiac signs aligning is the importance. Then we start to add the attributes because it could be an opposing energy, 180-degree opposite energy. But depending on the planet and a zodiac sign, the opposite energy could either be a head-on collision or it could be a fair and balanced. You see what I'm saying? And balance each other out. So it depends on what two planets aligning, not the alignment itself. You see what I'm saying? So for the most part, when we got this grand trine, there's always going to be yins and yangs to everything. So when we get into the pinnacle, the earth, this is going to put us in an aspect of making us have that gift, 120-degree angle, to pay attention, aka light star, to the energy filtering system of the place that the star is in, aka the earth element. And then for the most part, we might have this gift to be aware of some things that got something to do with the things we be really kind of running away from as far as our responsibility, stability, security, safety, support, and shelter. And a lot of times you might be in a position in your life where you might see yourself where you want to be, but you might not necessarily be in that position currently. So you might have the gift to be aware of some stuff that you actually be sweeping up under the rug anytime you want to jump more into fire, water, or air energies. Thinking, air, emotional state, emotional intelligence, water, and passion and feelings and the ability to express it, fire. And a lot of times these cater to more things that you might feel comfortable with from a subconscious nature. You know, fire deals with creativity, water deals with connection, air deals with adding ideas to that. And sometimes those energies may lack the productive energy of how these things could be manifested in reality when you're not utilizing the productivity or the harsh reality of the fire, water, and air. And that's when the earth come in before it even becomes a physical circumstance. It's an element just like fire, water, air, and earth. But a lot of times that element itself has a lot of things in it that the shadow government and y'all indoctrinations kind of make y'all think other things is more comfortable at the moment. So a lot of the earth energies be things that one of the first things that you might run away from. And that manifests into this reality in the third dimension as sometimes your responsibilities, your ability to get on your 1-2, your ability to control your circumstance, your situation, or just to ground yourself when things just start to appear to be too out of hand or chaotic in your life to a certain degree. So all of those are the earth energies, how to practicalize and make something what it is, even if it seem or appear to be harder than what it actually is in a 1, 2, and third dimension, or maybe actually hard, all the way to the point that you behind jail hard bars, doing hard time and things of that nature. And the what's that when everybody mugshot being the hard times paper in some way, shape, or form, right? But you're able to practicalize that circumstance and make it a better something you could stand on, so the situation at hand and the physical reality don't appear to be so harsh. So you making it make sense in your mind on how it could be helpful, and it also could have something to stand on, regardless of how it may look in the 1, 2, and third dimension. That's also utilizing the earth element from a practical perspective. And a lot of times these be the things we run away from, because using the earth element a lot of times will allow us to look at when we are comfortable in the fire, water, and air element that we might be lying to ourselves and things of that nature. And the earth element, when you jump into that, it'd be harsh realities that you see life through that make you look at the fire, water, and air like, oh, I don't want to stop doing that yet, though, or I don't want to put that to use yet, or I'm not quite ready yet to put my strap on my lace, or AKA make practical sense out of it yet. So a person to be sitting there being a dope forever without utilizing the earth element, because being a dope got something to do with the fire, water, or air element. Now, we all got this inside of us. I'm just breaking down the alchemy so you can understand it. And, we ain't 12 minutes in. So, Dolo like to talk beat. But it's the PBS channel. I changed my life, though. So I talk beat about spiritual stuff. I gave up talking beat to humans and stuff like that. It got boring after a while. Sad. So God redirected my good talking beat abilities to real issues in the world. And I can only thank God for it. Because I would have been somewhere up under somebody's ground or been behind somebody's jail bars or something like that during 18,000 years. Just based off circumstance. I could just be wrong place, wrong time, and just because of my actions and everybody else's actions and the vibe of the circumstance of the geographical location, just that alone. You know what I'm saying? So God saved me. And I don't want to hear no testimony if it ain't got nothing to do with God. So y'all keep y'all testimonies to y'allself. I'm saying, but when we talk about the alchemy and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, ain't no real testimony without all possibilities. You ain't even got to call it God when we talking about it in my concept. But ain't no testimony without it, though. Anytime you see a ain't, a nothing, a no, I don't care what sentence encyclopedia is attached to. You know what I'm saying? That lets you know it's separate from God. And you got to go through that to get closer to God. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't got no testimony. God ain't got nothing to do with it. I'm gonna keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? It ain't a play on words. It ain't semantics. It is what it is. And the moment you start trying to think too hard and bring it into existence, you sound like biblically to me now. You know what I'm saying? You sound like biblically to angels. You know what I'm saying? And especially if you're a female at this time, that you going too far now. Get back here. Get back here. Get back here. We got some things to do. You going too far. I'm saying, real stuff. I'm saying, only time you a spirit in a female body when they start talking about a whole bunch of testimonies that ain't got nothing to do with God. Get back here. You're going too far now. What, you got daddy issues? What, you got mother? Get back here. You ain't got that no more if you're around in my presence. I'm Father Madam now. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Hell, stop. But look, like I said though, right? So, but these energies, you gotta know how to utilize the alchemy. You know what I'm saying? Utilize the alchemy right. And, you know, a lot of times y'all run from the earth element because it make us look at how the earth, because look, they all produce into the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension, fire, water, air, and earth. But you know, if you know that alchemy, start with fire and end with earth, you will know how to produce the right situations in your life. We mix these things up so much, and a lot of times by default, subconsciously, because we're born with a snapshot, a natal chart. So you might got a lot of water in your chart that automatically make you choose that first. Might got a lot of fire in your chart, automatically make you choose that. And anytime you meet a resistance in the world that's different than that energy, especially when it comes to your moon sign and its element, it's going to put you in fight or flight mode. And you're going to be making all the decisions or all the excuses, or if you're a victimizing type of individual, all the excuses of how you're a victim based on something not your way, and you coming up with conclusions of this the right decision. But it's purely based on whatever you experienced outside of you didn't match your moon sign element or your sun and ascendant after that, and things of that nature. And your ability to react to that, a lot of times the shadow government only gave y'all a handful of things that they indoctrinated your mind with, and that's victimizing yourself, feeling like you're not good enough, or thinking something is happening to you. And a lot of times when you get into self-reevaluation and utilize, you know, these tools to understand our demonic energies to get out of them, astrology is one of the best ones. It ain't low like voodoo or nothing like that. Astrology is one of the best demonic tools you could use to understand your natures, your demonic nature. So you'd be like, oh, that's my problem. Stop having that problem and be like, okay, cool. Now I can be more closer to God without having weeks and days and months of seconds, minutes, and hours of thinking I was flunked out. Oh, I know the constructed issue I got to not be flunked out and let the external demonic world affect me the way it used to. Boom. That lets you know it's a good tool other than a bad tool that leads you down the spoil in the well, muddy in the waters, and having to think more about something you already know. And you just probably needed it constructed with a word or a sentence in the right way. See what I'm saying? Because these are spaceships. So when we know how to utilize a spaceship, we know how to fly better in our direction and path. When we ain't got a sufficient spaceship, a vibe and a word and a constructed, then we crashing into asteroids. 1, 2, and 3rd dimension look like all your situations and relationships. You just a crash dummy. You crashing all over the place, making mistakes, wasting other people's time. See what I'm saying? So it's about understanding the elements and putting them together too in a real synchronicity way inside your mind, so you kind of got control of your outcomes, even the situations that you don't got control over, because it's already teamwork makes the dream work. But on a percentage scale, which you added in, you still able to have more control over that. So even when it comes to situations where you could be guilty by association, the people that's looking at the concept of why you could be guilty based upon who you associated with, the other individuals will be able to come up in their own mind how they can separate you, because you expressed yourself enough to know, to allow other people to know what to make you a part of and what not to make you a part of, even if you associated with it. You see what I'm saying? So that's, you always want to have your stance clear. And if you're a man, you want to make sure you protect that energy and create that force field for your woman. And if you're a woman, you want to make sure that you uphold that, so the man can feel like that's worth something to uphold, and then y'all have something as a circle, and then y'all can spread that out to a community the same way these Masons did with these 13 colonies to produce a lot of these things that y'all wake up every day to jump into spirituality because y'all got something to complain about. So, you know what I'm saying? That's actually the mission. It ain't no other mission unless you just making something up to try to do something more easy. You know what I'm saying? And we ain't got no more time for lazy minds. Because once you develop an ability, God expects you to do something with it. And that's what the ritual and spell is. Your body, who you're going to connect it with. As far as the world, what you do with it. But what's on your mind is the ability. That is important. But every now and then, angels got to come down here and tell y'all it's not. Got to tell y'all it's useless. Got to tell y'all we can't do nothing with your thoughts and feelings. Even though the thoughts and feelings bend in on itself and become the physical world. Angels is wise enough, and we've been here long enough and had all y'all thoughts before. We give y'all too much of that energy, y'all would take that back to y'all narcissism. I could think $1 million in my lap. I can manifest $1 million. You know what I'm saying? And for the most part, all y'all think Quincy Jones gonna knock on the back door. So angels have to wake y'all up by casting fire at y'all with fire baptism and stuff, so y'all can know you got a problem, so you know what to actually change. And one of y'all problems is using y'all power for things it ain't made for, wasting your mind thinking about things for things you don't need to be using it to develop intellect and feelings, emotions for, and things of that nature. So when I get y'all out of that energy, I can redirect it, and now you can start using your actual power, and then we can start using these names or meanings and start giving it grace and praising it. But we can't do that if everybody debilitated in that area. So, you know, it doesn't matter what physical organ or beauty or even ugliness you have physically. What matters is your mind state. And if that mind state discombobulated and comprehension skills low, it don't matter what you got or what you can obtain and accumulate in the physical physical world. That thing itself would destroy you. You know what I'm saying? So you always going to be in some energy like you got to be careful what you ask for, because you don't know how to have discipline or develop your own energies and know that you made something, but you thought you found it when you was in the energy of looking. And that can confuse you because that's the starting point of something. And once you have a first starting point intent that's on negative pretenses and things of that nature, that becomes every outcome. And last time I checked, as Archangel Uriel, when something start, the same way it start and how it ends. And that's in everything: business, career, circumstance, and relationships. You could start your job in an angry spirit, and I guarantee the way you get fired or quit going to be in angry energies and things of that nature. You could start a relationship and on some ugly pretense and things of that nature, and I guarantee the relationship is going to end the same way. So if you start a relationship by cheating on someone else but not telling the other person that you're into something, but you use that other individual to make sure the situation is solidified enough that when that time is right, you can leave and things of that nature. 9 times out of 10, how you just started that next relationship to leave the other person, that's how that relationship going to end. Whether that person cheat on you because that accumulation of trust energy, or you just so comfortable in that energy, and this is how you even develop relationships in the first place. So it end up being a curse that you're developing before it's even a generation that you gonna pass on before you even have kids, with all these other stinky dicks that you're gonna be mixing your energies with. So for the most part, it could go either way. And a lot of times when we don't understand these spectrums and stuff like that, it's because we're not understanding the circumstances we're creating before we jump into them. You know what I'm saying? So you can't necessarily be having false pretense about circumstances that you're trying to be a god over, and not going with the flow and allowing God to do its work. You know what I'm saying? You might think you're trying to control your life. What you showing God is you don't got no faith in God. You don't got no belief in anything of yourself or anything in that nature. So everything to you as something going to seem more than what it is. You ain't going to never be able to look at something like it ain't nothing, because you separate from God. You can like have to walk outside a day. That become way more stressful for you than the average individual who got to do things in the world because they're an adult. You just got to go outside and breathe the air. Didn't have to, but that was stressful. That became victimizing the universe against you or something, like, because you had to get off the couch. You think the universe against you because you had to stop being Beavis and Butthead? Lord Jesus Christ. Y'all humans something else. You know what I'm saying? Y'all even something else. But I love down here, though. You know what I'm saying? I love it down here. Now, let's get into that's TikTok filter. I keep forgetting this PBS channel. PBS filters, TikTok, Twitch, astral systems and stuff like that, and soundboards, little filter system that a Hebrew Israelite put me on too. You know what I'm saying? Now, look, peep game, right? Now, we got Moon. The moon is getting ready to go in Virgo and stuff like that. So, anytime the moon is in Virgo, we got to react and respond to, the things that we might worry about. Now, it ain't really necessarily for us to be worrying about anything, but there's things that we develop as far as based on our responsibilities, that eventually when these things are not in the place that make us feel comfortable, it develop that energy what we give the term to worry. So, that comes straight from the energy of the 6th house and the constellation that was created when the sun had sex with the moon and created Mercury in the nighttime, created that constellation, Virgo, which is our thoughts when you get knocked out and all you see is stars, and that position in the sky as above, and, that they put satellites in. Thank you so much for the donation, Andrew Douglas. So we can keep track of that cycle, that water cycle, and we can always be aware when we are experiencing these things and they having other interactions with other atmospheres and stuff that we don't see physically, but these are actual energies because you wake up every day and feel a vibe. So understand that's the actual esoteric astrology, where it's the sky, but we have to explain it the way they explained it back then: the temple, the heavens, your mind, and then that chakra bend in on itself and made your cranium, what we actually call the temple. So it's let you know what we're calling names first, things inside of us. Then once outside of us we get an agreement, then we start calling our bodies and geographical locations and other animals of its kind names and titles. That's what I'm saying. Language and stuff like that ain't even a natural ability. We connect our vibe. The ability for us to learn consonants and chopping it up to structure our fart cloud mind is like a Masonic concept. Like, so it's things we all do, but when it comes to a sufficient mathematic concept, that's Masonic right there. You know what I'm saying? So we could be speaking something right now, thinking we speaking something good for us that's really against our will, that helps someone else get the whole loaf of the bread. And anytime we speak it and do it, we only get a crumb. This is why it's so hard for you to run a corporation, but you got to go get a job. And a job is basically somebody else's corporation. You get it? It's this is simple and plain in reality. Don't get lost in too much pseudo. It's what it is in our mind. We all built that stuff down here too. You know what I'm saying? Now, so with Moon and Virgo though, you know, we might find ourselves worrying about our emotional space and things of that nature. So try not to worry too much about your emotions. You know, the emotional state needs to flow. So anytime it's in the earth element, it may be like at a shore that has a lot of pressure and fusion, that it produces a lot of mountains and stuff like that out of it. So that's like water not being able to go fluidly, but also not have a purpose for it to be structured. So it's all over the place in all kind of pockets and stuff like that. So that could be your emotions reckless. That could be your emotions all over the place. That could be you trying to practicalize something that doesn't need to be practicalized, your emotions. So that's like esoterically speaking, water being at a like a dislocated land, and the seashore went on it and then went into all the different little discombobulated, unstructured land circumstances. And then that's how our emotions going to be, esoterically speaking, when it's in Virgo and things. So we might be worrying a whole lot about things that doesn't necessarily need to be worried about. These things come and go. But when you hold on to a lot of these things, that's like esoterically speaking, water going into a lot of that discombobulated land pockets. So the water can't easily flow as a connection or a collection. It has to be separated. So some of your emotions is going to be separated in certain pockets it doesn't necessarily need to be separated in. And it's going to be hard for you to go with the flow because there's going to be certain pieces of you that's forced to emotionally connect or respond to things that you're not quite ready to respond to. And it may have something to do with your responsibilities, or, you know, how you substantiate yourself, or, you know, the weird fart cloud peer pressure people may put around you that it's unsaid. But you know in the back of this person's uncircumcised frontal lobe and nut-stained pineal gland that you know that they still waiting on you to be successful or something and things of that nature. You know, you don't, especially if you just getting out of school and stuff like that. It's energies like this where your parents that you're standing with, or your auntie or foster parents or whatever like that, you know, they're not giving you the actual energies. So it's something unsaid, but you know, eventually the whole way that they're structuring y'all circumstance in the first place is for you to go ahead and get the fuck up out the crib, or get a fucking job, or go to fucking college or some goddamn shit. So you know, you hanging around, it might not be nothing being said, unsaid, unhidden truth, but it's still the elephant in the room. Every time you go in and out of your room and open up that refrigerator and use the toilet paper, that fart cloud, you receive that fart cloud. Not everything for a reason. That fart cloud wouldn't be there, or you'll be just a bum like Beavis and Butthead without no pressure, even if a person is saying things. But deep down inside, they weak enough. They like weak as a parent because they how they upbringing is, so they don't put that pressure on you. So they might say it, but deep down inside, if they ain't putting in the energy work as a spirit, you still won't pick up the energy. So it don't matter if a person's saying something or not. It matters where the spirit at, and you'll pick up the vibe. So even if you're in a circumstance where a motherfucker spirit is in that vibe, but they ain't saying nothing, eventually, you know, your mama wants you to get the fuck up out eventually. So you will tell yourself eventually, even if this person not motivating you. You know what I'm saying? So these are things right now where we're going to be getting deep into when we start to think about, you know, moon being in Virgo, and if your situation is substantiated enough, or is this something that you kind of got to worry about at the moment, and start, you know, practicalizing and start making something work. And the first thing you're going to try to make work is your flunked out emotions. You see what I'm saying? Because it's Virgo and moon. Now, that's a good time for shadow work. Bad time for blaming things on yourself. Right now, if you're the type of person that blame everything on yourself and stuff like that, and you're taking too much accountability, but you're not expressing it in some way, shape, or form, you could be like hard on yourself for no reasons, worrying about things that don't need to be worried about, and that can develop into a physical illness. But if you're in a situation where, you know, you planting good seeds and stuff like that, you probably got predictable things to worry about. So ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of pressure in that area, because you probably been procrastinating anyway. You know what I'm saying? So ain't nothing, it's better to have worry if it's directed in the right area. All these energies should be utilized like your bead. When you let these energies use you like a bead, that's why life becomes so hard for you. You know what I'm saying? And things of that nature. You let this pressure become way more than what it is. You let this goal become way more than what it is. You let this frustration become way more than what it is, when these things are supposed to be utilized to fuel you in some way, shape, or form. When you get blocked from doing something you want to do, that's supposed to make you go harder when you actually do what you want to do. Not when you experience a blockage from you, what you want to do. You waste a lot of seconds, minutes, and hours of putting in energy work of thoughts and feelings of, oh, this must not be for me. Oh, somebody's attacking me. Oh, the universe is doing something to me. That's wasting time, wasting your powerful mind for stuff it ain't made for. And that's all you get ready to manifest. More situations to confirm that, to make you think you telling yourself right. Not knowing you actually manifesting these situations. You're not proving yourself right. You're manifesting what you convinced yourself in because of your mind, your world. Stop making that kind of world. Get around others who can help you change your world if you got too stuck inside of a world, aka too stuck in a way of seeing yourself, too stuck in a way of a perception of the world, too stuck into a way of you think how you observe other people's. You need help at that point. And if you're not allowing God to come in, allow the vessels that God can use to show you better than God can show you, because you might be too low vibrational and seeing still lost in expectation without knowing it, but you're playing out energies that you're still in search, you're still trying. So God will bring something that you could only see, which will be in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension, a person, place, or thing that cater to that thought and feeling that could accumulate into that more direction that you needed to go in some way. And make sure you don't take advantage of that and misuse that and stuff like that, because God might be through that. And after that, God like, okay, this person ain't taking the Windows gate through Hell's Kitchen. This person is not willing to see me, even if I'm not right in front of them, and I'm right in front of them. You know what I'm saying? I could be through a bum, and they spit right in the bum's face and stuff like that. And I was using that bum as a vessel at the moment. Oh, this person, I can't help this person then. So at that point, you're gonna be real distant. Hopefully, you ain't got no razors or butter knives or stuff like that around the crib and stuff like. You try to be like young Constantine or something like that. And you know what I'm saying? Even now you got to fight the rest of your life not to go back to that place you went to when you thought you was being intelligent, when you found the little razor in the crib and stuff like that. So if you ain't watched the movie Constantine, you might not know what I'm talking about. But if you've seen the movie Constantine, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? You regret everything you just did and work your whole life to not go experience that again, no matter how hard it is, how long it take, and you know you reaping what you sow, and you accept it, and you go fight the good fight. You know what I'm saying? Until you know how to do something out of love. So Constantine, he got older, but once he was face to face with Lucifer, the devil, at that point, he like, man, the universe and God or whatever like that ain't even with me. He gave up. But here's the thing. He did the same. How things start, it ends. He slit his wrist like a kid. He slit his wrist at the end. But what was different? See, in the physical world, you could get blinded. What was different? The spiritual space he was in. When he did it as a kid, he did it out of hatred. When he did it as an adult, when he was in front of Lucifer, he did it out of love. When he did it out of love, God preserved his wrist. And then when he was getting up and rising into heaven, he actually got the power to stay alive to make the Lucifer go back to where he was at and say, better luck next time, better luck next eon. You know what I'm saying? I love them kind of, now them the type of missions I like to be on. That type stuff. Because you ain't going nowhere. So if you plan out any energies talking about, oh yeah, I just want to leave Earth. You plan out energies, you just got the spiritual abilities of leaving responsibilities. And you ain't gonna never leave no responsibilities. So you trying to leave Earth, it's the most high lostness. You ain't going nowhere until you take care of everything for you to even be here in the first place, which is your responsibilities. So you got to take your duties and accountabilities mentally and physically as a spirit. You can't leave none of these behind. So you might as well throw away that talk. I just want to leave Earth. What you actually saying is you made a small problem bigger than what it actually is. You got small problems in your actual life you're trying to run from. So you didn't chalk that up and jumped into fake woke spirituality and claimed you want to go to a different Earth that looked like something here. But you just made it up in your mind. And everybody like to make up escape stories in their mind because they're a victim. And I'm going to tell you right now, you ain't a victim to nothing but your mind. I'm saying real stuff. And we need your mind to be a little better. So you can join it with my mind, join it with other people's mind, and then we won't have nothing to complain about. That's the way we take care of our problems. That's the way we take care of our responsibilities. That's how we put that fire up under that couch and get up and do something about things. Other than that, it sounds like voodoo. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't what I'm talking about, it sounds like something else that's too demonic or something like that. And God can't even go to that low to be able to be like, yeah, let me use this vessel. God won't use none of them vessels down there. So I'm going to tell you that right now. You go too low as a spirit, don't expect God to use none of those as vessels. You on your own. You wouldn't even got that low if you wasn't trying to make your own vessels too much. And you control people and make people vessels for you can make a heaven for yourself and make it a hell for others, a.k.a. narcissism. AKA, you got way more than 12 dozens of eggs to throw on the ground around you that every time somebody comes just close to you, we got to walk around. We got to walk on that. You know what I'm saying? That energy. You know what I'm saying? God don't like ugly. God sure don't like ugly. Tell you that right now. God don't like ugly. Tell you that right now. God do not like ugly in a stickity thing. Now, look, check this out. We also got Mars and Virgo. So, I've been breaking that down all week. A lot of y'all been experiencing it, but as soon as you turn off the live, you forgot that's what we was experiencing. So like you got to snap out of it and get back on track when you actually not into spirituality at the moment and you're in life dealing with life. You got to know that. Boom. Oh, yeah, this is the one thing that I'm experiencing first. Mars and Virgo and stuff like that. And I might put more pressure on myself about something that I necessarily need to do. And this animosity or fart cloud don't need to be here. You know what I'm saying? And what can I do to deal with it? And then that's you taking that worry energy, directing it into the right area. Other than allowing these things to accumulate. Now you got to worry how to hide from these things, escape from these things, not show yourself, block your solar plexus, because the sixth house is behind your navel. So it's the sixth house is between your sexual organ and your navel area, the seventh and the fifth house, but it also play out as all the wiring systems through all the houses. Same way Gemini, the third house. It's below the throat chakra, above the heart chakra, second house, fourth house. So it's right here, but those wiring systems connect all the joint bones together. So, everything after you created the heart, you got your lungs, dual, shoulder blades, dual. So you got your dual joints and organs, and you got the wires that connect all them together. Sixth house, nervous system, nerves, wiring everything together. And what is it wiring? All your joints together. Third house, things that sprung from that, all your double things. You see what I'm saying? So that's even your eyes. Everything you got double. But where they sprung from is the house. Third house, boom, sprung dual energies. Then down here, you only got one twat. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You only got one pole. So once it start getting down there and stuff like that, now you get into the nighttime of Mercury. And that's the other nerves. But then they play out through the whole body. Either all the houses do, but they just got sectors where they sprung from. You know what I'm saying? Like a root. Because you at the spirit, you be in a space. You create the mind. That be a seed. And then once it grow as a tree, the root be from that area, but the tree branches spread out all over because it's a connection. It's a teamwork makes the dream work inside of you too. You got an ecosystem, whatever you call that. So this takes us into medical astrology to understand it the real way. Not just if you're going to the hospital and stuff like that and talking to a doctor and he got to go on a computer to see what pills suit your symptoms or what fluids suit your symptoms. Where the people who make these things themselves is into medical astrology. For them to even know what vitamins or what things to use that'll go into your veins and go to that area. You know what I'm saying? So they'll know what to make heavy and what to make light and what to put in it that resonate more with that area sprung from that root of the organ that was made from the chakra, the seed. You see what I'm saying? So that's why every time you look at an organ, it look like that. Everybody inside body look like a tree, and the bones and your body like a tree branch, and the organs look like fruit hanging off of it. And they all look like they got branches on them and stuff. They all your inside of your body look like the bottom of a seafloor. The bottom of your inside of your body look exactly like the bottom of the. I be into this stuff online and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't be having nobody to talk to but God. Once I cut this off, I'm talking to y'all. But that's the type of stuff I be in my recommendations and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I be looking at the sea floors and stuff like that. It'd be like, dang. And then I go on anatomy, somebody dissecting something like a rat or a human or something like that. I'm like, dang, it look the same. Inside of the body look like a seabed, look like a sea floor. You know what I'm saying? So I'm convinced once the organ of the heart becomes just as useless as the hand, there's going to be spirits that come after the root race that had the heart, like us, to make that one, and it's going to be like a heart species. We might not call it a heart, but they're going to look like a heart that's walking around on the ground, like how we see dogs and cats and stuff like that. Or rodents. It'd be a heart with a spirit inside of it, crawling around. You know what I'm saying? But we, in that lifetime, we look at that like that's normal, because that takes us into spiritual and physical evolution. You know what I'm saying? The right way to look at it, or you wouldn't be who you are today, and all the mechanisms that make up you. Got these lungs and these hearts and stuff. Because as a spirit, we're creating awareness, and that awareness is an ability, a desire, and then once it accumulates, we have a form to do it. So as a spirit, if we expanding, right, that's an ability. So the mind going to bend in on itself and create an organ to do something like this. To do something like this. You see what I'm saying? That's how we create the world. We create the world. It's sad that y'all don't understand that, but it's like I can only remind y'all what y'all already know. Y'all just forgot what y'all know. You know what I'm saying? We contract. So we created a whole bunch of organs that can do this. So anytime a spirit create a mind and a form, that form going to have a pulse. And what is a pulse? A beep. Something going out, in, out, in. But once you peel back all the layers, it's nothing. So nothing is the spirit that's making that ability, and that ability becomes a mind that creates an organ that represent the spirit. So the spirit creates the mind to mimic the spirit, and the mind controls the body because the body mimics the mind. And it's in that order. Your individual self control your thoughts and feelings. Your mind and your thoughts and feelings control what you're going to do with your body. Your mind controlling your body. Anytime you change that order, you live it out of order. And they got all y'all living backwards. They got y'all living through the body first. If it pleased the body, then it's something you should think and feel good about. And then that's the body controlling the mind. And if you could think and feel good about it, that's what you call spiritual peace, like they do in religion or something like that. And then that's you doing your spirit last. So here's how spiritual warlords can control y'all, because all they got to do is make something look pretty in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension. You show them you low vibrational because you like, oh, that religion good, or that fruit good, or that food good, or that transgender good, or something like that thought or feeling good, right? And then now you feel like that's why I'm at peace, because I got this now. And your spirit always going to remind you unfulfilled, or be careful what you ask for when you get that Tom Hanks box of chocolates, Forrest Gump, Bubba Ray shrimp dick energy. You always going to feel unfulfilled. And then that's just Uriel reminding you, you shook hands with the devil and you called it God. Your God named Lucifer, basically. You know what I'm saying? You got lost in light. You got lost in expectation. You got lost what was dangling in front of you by the puppet master. Know what I'm saying? Now, peep game. Jupiter is in Taurus. So we trying to expand our material, our security, our stability, our support. So we also got to expand our feet mask and on our John Clethod Jesus Christ slippers or Timberland boots when it comes time to putting in faith and works. So we can't forget that part. When you got an ability, God expecting for you to take that as above and bring it as below. And then once it's inside you as within, God waiting on you to take it as without to see if someone else can give you a witness. And if you scared to do that part, you not having faith in God of what you just was passed down on from as above, as below to you that got inside of you. If you scared to bring it out as without, God looking at you like, what is you doing? Now you got auras, pent up energies, false perceptions, victimizing energies. God can't fuck with you at that point. God is like, what is you doing? You got the faith. Why ain't you putting in the works? Is you looking at the faith right? Do you need a little bit more time of this faith? What's going on? Why ain't you putting in the works? And I said, that's what God be waiting on. And you just looking at it and making excuses that the faith be something else. Oh, no, I need faith here. Oh, I got to wait till I see this and look like this. And then I'll put faith here. And then God, like, you're going to be waiting for a long time then. You know what I'm saying? Then when you reach that space that you suffocating in Hell's Kitchen because you realize it was a window that was open that's not open no more, and only God could open it and stuff like that. Now you're like, God, if you open the door one more time, open the window one more time, I swear, I don't care how long it take, I jump through it. God gonna be like, I'm glad you got that thought, because it might take forever. Nobody told you to get lost away from me like that. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. That's how God look at it. You know what I'm saying? So you just gonna be a victim for this eon. You gonna play victim next eon, next reincarnation, until you get and figure out yourself. Let me stop not jumping through the window when God showed it was open and I was too busy cooking, not being aware it's a window in the kitchen. And this is Hell's Kitchen. And I was too excited on what meal I'm cooking, who I'm inviting over and stuff. Now nobody want to come over because it's too hot in here and stuff like that. And I can't. I'm trying to get out. Can I go to somebody else's kitchen or something like that that's in heaven's kitchen? God gonna be like, no, suffocate. AKA, esoterically speaking, suffocate. 1, 2, and 3rd dimension, suffer. So whatever situation you done buried yourself in Hell's Kitchen, suffer. 1, 2, and 3rd dimension. 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, suffocate in that Hell's Kitchen. You in hell at the moment. You reap it what you sow at the moment. You know what I'm saying? God don't play that coming around when you ready type stuff. God don't play that. Y'all better learn that. You know what I'm saying? You could break that down through the tool of astrology. Pluto. If you ain't transforming in time, Pluto needs you to transform. Pluto will transform it for you. Some person, place, or thing can get right up and leave your life when you ain't ready. I'm not ready, not ready. Even all the way down to actual death. And it wasn't your fault because you wasn't paying it. This happens sometimes, and it might just happen to you, where someone who's actually taking care of you, or you was taking care of, that what you was predicating your whole life on, and you know that you was supposed to make some changes to make your life and theirs better, and you ain't do it in time, and Pluto will do it for you, and you might not like the way Pluto do it. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. You ain't gonna like the time Pluto do it. You ain't gonna like how Pluto do it, and you ain't gonna like the situation you in after Pluto do it. And then you're gonna be sitting around thinking the universe done something to you. You know, the universe ain't, and that's just an allegory making it sound like Pluto done something to you. You just wasn't riding the wave. You just got washed up under the current. So let me make that make sense. You could sleep on the couch all day. If you look outside your window, you're gonna see daytime and nighttime. The sun ain't waiting on you. So if you want to miss a Pluto shift, yeah, we could make an allegory and make it sound like Pluto doing something for you, doing something to you. But that's just to make it sound good. But it's just because you're not riding the current. And once Pluto leave, whatever you holding on to will leave right along with Pluto, because you wasn't trying to change it when Pluto was there. So I'm saying, easy, simple, and plain. Now, Pluto is in Capricorn right now, and is in retrograde. So for the most part, it's making everybody have to look back at old things that they need to transform, that they didn't brought that fart cloud into their new self when all the retrogrades went direct, because they get ready to go retrograde again. But early in 2023, you were supposed to become this new person and stuff like that. But you might got a lot of fart clouds that you ain't transformed for you to be the complete new person. So Pluto retrograde is reminding you that right now. Hey, remember this? Why ain't you transform this? This still look like the old you. You ain't totally the new you. Hey, what about this emotion? Hey, what about this thought? Hey, what about this circumstance in your life? And that's what Pluto is doing in everybody. And it's in Capricorn right now. So it's directed in our energy of our status, how we're seen, what we're known for, how we organize our life, how we calculate, how we structure. So that's what Pluto in retrograde is focusing you on, what you're bringing from an old outdated fart cloud. They're like, look, hey, you're supposed to be this new person. Why you still got this old status? Why you doing this old thing that you was doing that other people know you for? That wasn't working. Hey, you supposed to be doing this now. That's supposed to work. Hey, remember when Mercury went direct in Capricorn? Remember when you was a new person? Hey, remember when I gave you wiggle room? Hey, I gave you enough time to be this wise. You still got this spark cloud or untrustworthy or baggage, or this is what Pluto doing right now in Capricorn. And right now you want to have your status somewhere where you look like a boss or bossette. It's not gonna get that to you, if you still got old fart clouds. But if you're riding the wave right now, riding that flight right now, then you playing good seeds. You're already aware, and you're not allowing Pluto to come take things away from you, your comfort zone. you getting uncomfortable yourself and trying to find comfort in it. So no matter how uncomfortable it get, you gain familiarity in it, you gain a know-how and an ability in it, and it becomes your new comfort zone in this new space that it needs to be in. Because that's the only way you're gonna gain comfortability. Doing something that was once uncomfortable. When you came out your mother's C-section, or came out reverse C-section, or you came out your mother's colostomy bag, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that, because you couldn't, for the most part, you came out something brand new, so it was unfamiliar. So you had to become familiar to something for something to be comfortable and normal. Same way when you learn how to walk. So that's how life is, period. You have to learn how to gain comfortability with uncomfortability. The issue is you get scared of uncomfortability because of the insecurities of developing uncomfortability in areas that you don't even need to be focused on. Y'all be wasting y'all time being distracted on things that's not for you. So insecurity would develop in that area. And then for the most part, you would develop uncomfortability, and then uncomfortability pour over in areas that you don't need to be uncomfortable in, especially when it comes to your gifts and talents, whether you get rejected or not. But based upon all these other areas, you might get a rejection in your relationship, and then feel this, and then that energy will pour over into your musical talent or your actor or actress in talent. And then you allow this relationship to make you feel like you're not good enough. And now you're not even getting up to audition for that actor role. And then for the most part, now you let one thing bleed over into the other area. And now you making results in your life. Yeah, I'm not good enough. Where you could have became a famous movie actor if you would have got the hell out your damn feelings about nonsense. Nonsense. You should have let that fuel you. You should have let that be like, oh, they cheated on me or this, that. I'm going to make sure that whoever they with, every time they go to the movie theater, they see my face. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. That's supposed to fuel you. What's wrong with y'all? You didn't allow that energy to go lay down somewhere like Beavis and Butthead in your grandma Christmas sweater she bought you 12 Christmases ago. And hate life for some reason and get more deeper into the Bible or something like that. You done went backwards now. You done went backwards. You could be somewhere teaching somebody making money. You somewhere paying, getting lost, looking for a Bible. You done got lost. You done got lost now. Lost in your thoughts and feelings and made it unproductible. And you will be reminded. All this with Pluto and Capricorn. You see what I'm saying? So we got to look at these houses too. I'm going to break down everybody's houses too. Now, for the most part, Moon conjunct Mars, right? So, we're going to be automatically focused in a center focus too. We might see red anytime a person, place, or thing in our lives is directing us away from this alignment right here. Moon conjuncting Mars. We're going to center all of our emotional energy and intelligence on our passions, motivations, desires. And when these things don't get met in a timely fashion, predicated to you, it leads into the negative lower octave side of Mars, anger and aggression. You know what I'm saying? Anytime your motivations, your motives don't get met when you want it, you turn them into alternative motives or mischievous energies or strategic energies to get your way. And that can lead into anger and aggression. You know what I'm saying? Or self-sabotaging. Pardon me. So our emotions going to be wrapped up into that. And it might not even be in the place that our emotions need to be, because it might be more about the money. So you might even be looking at your relationships, but it's filtered through, all you see of it is from your passion. And if you with a partner right now that's not making a sufficient amount of money and you're kind of the breadwinner, you're going to start to look at this like it ain't love, or you're going to look at this like this ain't a relationship. And relationship got many components to it, not just the structure of it, but the earth element right now might have us in that earth structure concept. You see what I'm saying? So be careful, because when these times fade and we're not no longer having that gift to do some negative energy with that earth element and things of that nature, when the moon go into Libra, you may feel like you made a mistake, and you may feel like they may need a 7 of swords or a conversation that needs to be had to create fairness and balance again, in an area that you made it unbalanced, being too predicated with the earth aspect of it at this time. That wasn't a component that love is most predicated on. You see what I'm saying? So, don't get blinded by the physical world or the spiritual aspect of the earth element during this particular time, because there's so much energy there and we have that gift to fall into it. Now, we can use it for positive energies, but if we're not in a good space when it comes to our circumstances and our relationships, that energy may get directed for negative things. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I'm just trying to keep y'all aware of that. Anytime there's a lot of planets in Earth, especially at Grand Trine, it play out extremely Satan energies, extremely Lucifer energies. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times the shadow government created so much Walt Disney indoctrinations. These be the things that we think make sense. So it's natural for dog eat dog world cutthroat. It's natural for McDonald's to come out with a chicken sandwich with the intent to destroy Burger King, not with the intent to, hey, let's give Burger King the same ingredients. You know what I'm saying? That don't even exist in industries that the shadow government made. That kind of morality. That don't you can talk like that right now, and the person you talking to will look at you as stupid. Like, that don't make sense. No, we doing a business right now. We gotta, you know what I'm saying? And we could justify it all day, but from a spiritual perspective, we still got to see it from a spiritual perspective too. Thank you so much for the donation, Vim Body. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. See, from a spiritual perspective, I'm wise enough to be able to point to certain things where y'all can still see as unmoral, where if you so lost in reality, it's really things you pray for, and it's really things that you think is the most positive. You know what I'm saying? But that's why you hear celebrities always thanking God for them being on stage, but it's always the devil's fault when the fans ain't buying any records or something like that. And now y'all the devil. Now we the devils now as fans. We the devils because we ain't buying any records. You see what I'm saying? So you got to understand now that's polarized lostness energy. God ain't got nothing to do with none of that. And that's all the devil works in all the humanic world. All of it. That's why they all participate in that and use these things to sell records and stuff. You know what I'm saying? They are using it for demon. That's what it's for. That's the industry. I'm trying to change that. You know what I'm saying? I can still be as hood as ghetto as I want and make music that Elvis Presley can still listen to. So any female behind me, and even a man, but you know, I care more about females, especially my other half. She ain't got to break a nail. She ain't got to worry about a Jew, because, you know, I don't count. You know, y'all know me. I'm not in specific realms. I took over everything. Business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics. Even the ones, the small percentage. I still look like I got potential. You know what I'm saying? So that spark of mine to, even after I die, a person would be like, man, I remember Uriel was here. Let me make sure I create comic books. Let me make sure you know what I'm saying? So it don't matter what I did. I laid platforms. I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? So even when a female trying to make music right now, this flights, and everybody knows she with me or whatever, like that, she ain't got to break it down now. I already got an industry. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. So if she was next to Taylor Swift, here's the thing. When you know spiritual energy and you're around actual spiritual people, like me, I'm a man. I can't speak for all other men. I'm a real spiritual man. So I did so much self-evaluation and shadow work, I understand things. So even when it comes to money, I understand the shadow government man. I understand the money and the paper itself ain't the power. It's the energy of a swag or the ego that a group of people could put in an object to make people think is important. So when you understand it like that, the shadow government didn't even have to chop down trees and make the paper money. They could have did anything and then just put the energy behind it. Same way they do it with cryptocurrency. That's not paper money. Same way they do it with credit cards and debit cards. That's not paper money, but it's the same. So it's the concept. It's the spiritual energy you could put behind something to make it important. And that takes a powerful spirit to understand that. So that's why I don't count. But me being a man, I'm giving another man example, and I'm helping women understand what to look for when men say change the world, or you changing the world. It don't matter if he work at Taco Bell. Is he flipping that taco way different than everybody else, so he become a manager for way faster than everybody else, or he's complaining about Taco Bell at the crib every time he back with you? That's gonna let you know if you were the real man or not. So I'm saying it don't matter what level it is. That I'm giving you the pointer what to look for, because how things start always going to be the outcome. So let's get on this level. Taco Bell person, don't disrespect him. It's two ways. Do he come back and complain, or do he come back and be excited about what he gonna do with the check? Here's the only space he could be in. If he got a godly purpose, that leads into being excited about the check, because the check is gonna go towards something that has the potential that can make you think as a female, yeah, this gonna get us away from even working at Taco Bell. If you got a man right now, and let's say y'all at the level of Taco Bell, and he's coming back just complaining all the time and just making it sound good, I'm gonna get 2 jobs, I'm gonna 3 jobs. He ain't got no godly purpose. His check and his purpose is purely impressing you, or just being regularly Walt Disney'd out. So for the most part, the check ain't gonna go to no potential or anything. So eventually, that's when you know you're not with a man, because he's not changing the world. So it's not gonna be. So eventually, it don't matter how many jobs he get, you gonna have to break a few nails too, because y'all check's not going towards nothing but satisfaction throughout the week, because y'all don't got no purpose. And eventually you're going to get bored with him. And eventually he's not going to know why you get bored with him. And y'all just going to create a toxic situation and things of that nature. Because there's no God purpose involved. So that's how you see it on that level. He could be working at McDonald's. Do he come home and be excited? Or do he come home and be aggravated? His mind ain't on nothing else, and he ain't got no godly purpose. So an idle mind is at the devil's playground. He has nothing else to do but develop his mind to complain. When a person got other godly purposes on their mind, sometimes the job is something they barely could think about. So they could be creating all kind of frustration, people they can't get along with. They're going to be at that job every day because in the back of their mind, they know that check is for something else. That's going to take them right up out that job. That's a man with discipline. So that person will have better ideas to not even be creating animosities at jobs. And anyway, you know what I'm saying? So it's a character you got to look for before any accumulation and outcome. Even if he had the lowest accumulation and he just at Taco Bell, you look for the character first. God like the situation, not the person attributes, beauty, or if he a porn star or she know how to not be a dead fish on the bed or not. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got nothing to do with that. It's the circumstance, and that's the first bodies we create, because the world you in, that's your mind. That's the first body you create, and that's how it look before we create organs. And if both of those can join, that makes a situation amongst two. The joining of two energies create another one, is sex. And that has to look beautiful. The situation has to be beautiful, not the objects in it, the physical features and stuff. And that's just a given or a extra like perk. You see what I'm saying? So that's even better, because if you're really doing your purpose, God will bless you with that. God will bless you with good physical, good health, or someone that can help you with that, and you got things they can help you with. And y'all both beautiful people physically and spiritually. And y'all take over the world at that point. Everybody will kneel and will and bow down at y'all feet and don't know why. Because it's a spiritual thing going on. Same way you get up and feel like why you need a job and don't know why. It's a spiritual thing going on. It's just their witchcraft version of it. God got way easier ways for the female don't have to break her nail and the man don't have to wear no steel-toed Timberland boots. All I'm saying, real stuff. All I'm saying, is just real stuff right now. You know what I'm saying? So we blending this reading with a little bit of spiritual hot talk, you know what I'm saying? But it all coil into each other. But look, check this out. We also got Moon Trine and Uranus. So we got this gift to be able to emotionally connect to changes, rebellion, and opposition right now that we're going through, and things that we need to be unique, original, and more of an individual in. So that's kind of good, you know what I'm saying? That it puts us up to be motivated. The moon kind of makes us be more self-aware. And even if it's unsaid, but we know it's a fart cloud floating, we're going to start to act on it and be like, oh yeah, I don't want to be seen like that, because I know it's going to be an outcome where a situation play out and it's going to be said. And I ain't trying to get nobody no satisfaction. I'm not trying to be proved wrong. I ain't trying to put nobody in a position where I'm trying to prove them wrong. Let's go ahead and nip this in the butt. Let me go ahead and express it. AKA, that's taking responsibility. That's all that is. That's all that is. That's you being an adult. That's all that is. That's all I broke down. Just in an astrological way. And then also we got Moon Trine and Jupiter. So we're going to be reacting and responding to the things we need to expand. And it, like I said, it's filtered through the earth element. So that's going to be our money, material, maternal, the things we're nurturing to try to see it grow. Because, you know, we got the fire, the seed, the water, how it grows, and the air, the wind, but the flower pot itself. The dirt, the earth element, esoterically speaking. You know what I'm saying? You could plant all the seeds you want, but a lot of people be planting seeds thinking something gonna grow in concrete. You thinking too hard about stuff and you're manifesting stuff that don't grow. That's you planting seeds in concrete. A lot of people be trying to plant seeds in deserts. Esoterically speaking, that's a deserted land. You're thirsty, dehydrated. You're not fruitful. You're not fluid. You're not wiggly and jiggly. You know what I'm saying? You're not going with the flow, with your circumstances. You're always trying to create something to be too hot and dry, too much fire, spicy. You too feisty, you too separate, and it's too dry, aka too. So you're trying to plant a seed in the sand desert, in a deserted land and stuff. Can't nothing grow. There's no one else around. And ain't anyone else around thirsty too. So they trying to get some water the best way they can. So how y'all gonna connect in that space? Y'all just gonna be fighting in that space too. You see what I'm saying? This is esoteric knowledge. And a lot of times you need to know the vase. So when you got a good flower vase, you know where to put this at. That's earth. You got to be practical. Once you're practical, you know where you're planting your fire, water, and air, wind for it to blow around and stuff like that, so it don't get too drowning. You can add too much water, add too much emotion to a situation. That create toxicity, stale water. Stuff, the seed, the fire won't be able to germinate. The cloud won't be able to condense. It'll just be soggy water, then air blowing, not being able to blow it around, and the vases in being worthless. And wherever you plant it at, if you ain't had no practicality, no earth, whatever deserted land, it's worthless. It's just mud there. The seed ain't gonna grow right. Just gonna, and the germinate gonna be a flappy plant. You know what I'm saying? And no fruit gonna grow from it. And then that's just people looking at you like you scrawny as a spirit. You don't, the fruit that you bear is weak and is dead and got ants on it. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta peep game in that area too. You know what I'm saying? But with Moon, Trine, and Jupiter, it wants us to expand in the material, but try not to attach all spirituality and things of that nature, and set that up with you size and compare and contrast between what's spiritual or not. So you might think you're not spiritual if you don't have something that someone else have that you want. You know what I'm saying? Or you might think you're more spiritual than someone, so your advice is law, and they better listen because you got more of something that you know everybody in the world kind of want that position too. So you might be in that position. So you got to be careful. Both these things is fart clouds and negative. But you could be thinking it's justified because it's too much spiritual energies through the filtering system of Earth right now. Was get ready to. You know what I'm saying? Got the Moon, Jupiter, you know what I'm saying? And then the harsh planets and stuff like that is, you got Pisces, Saturn and stuff. So you might create a delusion in an area that don't need to be a delusion in. You might create a delusion in things that need to be grounded in reality. And that'll set you 10 steps back. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful with that energy during this particular time too. And then we got Mars, Trine, and Uranus. So we got this gift to, like, you know, passionately, well, you know, I don't want to say it's Trine in it. It's like, well, it is Trine and Uranus. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and give it up because that's like a further away planet. You know what I'm saying? So it moves slower. So you could kind of say it. Don't matter if the degree outrange it from 10. It might be over 10 degrees. That is not, the orb might be broader than 10 degrees, but it still play out that energy if it's a far away planet. So right now we might be passionate also, or a little aggressive to express our uniqueness, to express our individuality. But it might appear to be on the negative end of rebellious, the negative end of just being negative for the sake of being negative, just for the sake of expressing your uniqueness, individuality, or your originality that might not appear to be original to other individuals. It might just appear to be narcissistic, negative, opposing, or rebellious towards things we don't necessarily need to be rebellious towards at the moment, especially when it comes to these gender wars and stuff. We're seeing this in a live, and the shadow government is using people as puppets, you know, to lead more blind individuals into a circumstance to make this more convenient for everybody to be substantiated by themselves and to lean their dependence more on AI and, you know, internet, and stand inside your crib being Beavis and Butthead and Buttettes, you know what I'm saying, which is male and females, and buttercream, saltwater taffy jawline necks. So y'all gotta peep gaming too. You know what I'm saying? It's a psyop that's being played out through business, entertainment, education, religion, politics, and our psychology. And once they got all the wiggle room from throwing things on the wall to see what stick in all these, then you'll be able to see the master plan where all of these energies is directed to as one thing. And that's when y'all will start realize they had us all doing what we thought we was doing with these 5 things, that really we was just doing what they wanted us to do anyway with that one thing behind closed doors. So this is what it means to create psyops, and utilizing psychology and operational variables to control y'all, because they think y'all are their people. And they create new men and women by conducting worldviews for y'all to live by. And when y'all start to express these things within society, this is how they look at y'all. They look at y'all as their creations. You see what I'm saying? So they sit back and study y'all as lab rats to see whoever going to be an individual, how they're going to express their energy anyway that they put on y'all. And whoever express it with their most individual energy, you're not directing that towards your legacy. You're directing it towards their magic square so they can use you as a puppet by rising out of their system and becoming popular as an influencer towards whatever generational curse they put you in, to sit back and study you so they can know how to adjust it for people who come after you, to pass it down through oral tradition to their descendants, to keep this thing going, for them to be in their manipulating mind positions because they lack the physical and mental energy of just being able to get it done because of who you are spiritually. So the things that they lack, they come up with a manipulation way to make you look at your own abilities like they're not abilities, to secretly praise them for the abilities you have that they don't even have. And now they can play a position of having abilities, aka the ability of convincing you that you need to stay docile up under their governmental system. That is their ability to convince you you need to not use your ego, and your ego is a bad thing, and give you the concept of ego itself, and give you where to direct it to make you experience it like it's a bad thing. And then you give them the mental authority from teaching you that, and now they can rule you. So this is why a Jew can't shoot a basketball shot, but they can go ahead and own Nike and make Jordan feel like he rich, where really it's just crumbs, because he think he got a logo on the side of a Nike shoe. That's basically what it is. You know what I'm saying? So they sat back and looked at it like, yeah, I can't do these things. And if these people had the intelligence too, the cobalt mind too, we will never get nowhere. So let's convince them what they know how to do is wrong. And then that they started to look at that like that's their ability. And then now they can capitalize off of what they made you feel like is wrong, because they made you feel like they can steer it in a better direction. So they made a problem and created the solution. You know what I'm saying? It's just simple as that. On a psyche level, though, like on a psyche, before you see it physically. That's how they do it on a psyche. This is how they put you in mental jail. You're in a mental cage right now. It's mental warfare. It's a war going on outside. No man or woman is safe. No thought or feeling is safe. The moment you express it to the wrong individuals, Walt Disney, you not safe no more. You abducted. Everything that come out your mouth is something that they said as far as ancestors and stuff. And every time you use it, your actual life and actual God show you only get crumbs. Period. Period. That's what I'm saying. And I hate that for humanity. I hate that for y'all. That's why I get so deep in spirituality, astrology, gender wars, all concepts from the beginning of time. It's like we in things for survival mode that we really didn't even put ourselves into, but we fighting and upholding these flags. And we really didn't even create the flag we upholding. We got to understand these things. Understand that first. And that's how we can come back together. Now, and this earth energy going to remind us that, because you're going to be in a situation whether you lack something, especially if it deals with money, or it's going to be in a situation where you don't lack it, but you're in a situation where you all alone, so you don't know what to do with it. The universe, these transits itself with the earth element going to be like, hey, time to put it to use. The person with money going to be like, let me put somebody else on game. The person without no money going to be like, let me lower my pride and get with someone who can put me on the game. And now we can connect. Now we can use each other in some way without no pride and ego somewhere, because that's all it leads anyway. When a female start breaking nails too much and reach a situation, when a red pill person start to have to do so much and reach a situation, at some point they get so far where, yeah, you got money, yeah, you got rims, yeah, you got that beauty salon, but goddamn it, ain't nobody to share it with. Then when you broke and stuff like that, or you and your ego and stuff, and you all alone and stuff, eventually you're gonna be like, yeah, I need to accumulate, I need to get my mind right before I can share my space with others, till you come to a conclusion that I can't even accumulate or get my mind right without others. So it don't matter what polar shift you own. Eventually, we got to come together. Everybody got to swallow their pride. And that's what the earth element gonna remind us with these planets transiting. Yeah, we could be in our own convenience all we want, but it don't make substantial, sturdy table sense. And that's what the earth element gonna remind us. So we got to swallow our pride somewhere. Now, if you don't swallow your pride, you will reap what you sow. But in your mind, you might be thinking, nah, I got to think like this. I got to feel like this. I don't want nobody to see me sweat or something like that. And earth ain't about seeing something sweat. Earth is out there. The sweat is already out. So something got to be already let out. when we talk about earth element. We got fire, imagination, water, emotion, bringing it down like a cloud condensing as rain, air, wind, once it light up again and make the shape and form of the earth material that get constructed out of it. So earth come later. It's after already something come out, internal, external. So anytime we got planets transitioning through the earth element, it's time to put that internal energy out. You can't be holding on to things. It's going to become too heavy. It's going to become a brick, a big heavy block, water bucket inside of you. And that's esoterically speaking. In a 1, 2, and 3rd dimension, it ain't going to do nothing but manifest blockages, tower moments, things that deal with actual bricks and stuff where you, in your life, it might not be an actual brick, but God damn it, on that spiritual road and path and direction and you own, you just can't seem to go through it. It just don't seem like doors is open. It don't matter how you slice it. That's the earth element. See what I'm saying? No matter how you slice it. So, for the most part, you got to keep making things too hard right now. Don't be too hard on yourself. And the only reason some hard on yourself, you develop an aura. And the only way you could develop an aura is holding too much shit in. And the only time you hold too much stuff in, you got pent up fire and water. And that air transitioning, you creating tires for it. And you always going to have to refill your tires and put more air in it after a couple months and stuff like that because it's hard to trap air. So we got to make new, goddamn it, sea salt rubber tires and stuff like that in the winter time as a new goddamn it thing or something like that. And just to learn how to hold some air in it and have better sufficient tires and stuff. And then still got to put more air in it and stuff. So for the most part, you need to just get rid of being in the manufacturing business of creating tires, esoterically speaking, inside of you. Just let the wheels, chakra wheels, be chakra wheels. They know how to float on their own. You don't need no tires because in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension, that's how we made the steering wheel and short but shorty retarded wheelchair chakra wheels in the first place. Everything we got in the mind, we make it in the physical world. But in the mind, leave those ones in the mind. Don't make a salt rubber one in the mind and now the air can't escape. So you got this earth structure that you done rooted yourself in and filtered up with fire, water, and air. Now it's this heavy actual rubber tire that's supposed to be a light chakra that's transparent. Now it's playing out into a 1, 2, and 3rd dimension as you heavy-hearted. You feel heavy. You feel depressed. You feel held back. And every person, place, or thing is just a manifestation of it that you could point to be like, you hold me back. This thing hold me back. This place hold me back. I'm saying, no, these are just the physical representations of everything I'm explaining you doing in the mind to your goddamn self. That's all. That's all. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. Once you make it simple, now you know what to fight, to get out of. It takes knowledge to know what you're fighting. You got to get into it to know what you fight. If you don't know what you're fighting, you're going to be running all over the battlefield. And any kind of warlord can come. Spiritual goddamn predator can make you do what they want you to do. That only helps them. And then it don't help you. You still be running around like a spiritual chicken without your head. AKA in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension. Getting crumbs. Oh, well, maybe I got to do this better next time. Or maybe I got to go get 3 jobs. Or maybe I got to do my relationships this time. That you work for an esoteric spiritual predator warlord. Right at the moment. You're on a battlefield that you don't know you're on. Learn this battlefield and be like, oh, I'm fighting the wrong fight. Let me switch this esoteric city and state. I don't like this state in Babylon. This state made out of bricks, aka thoughts and feelings that I don't resonate with no more. You know what I'm saying? Now get a spaceship and move to another city. Hopefully you find a soul tribe, a soul group. Welcome to my channel. We built in the city. We make our own fruit. We plant our own seeds, ideas, flights all over the place, and built our own fruit. Feel good with our own knowledge and way of life and stuff like that. Now those blocks and stuff, and then now the trees and stuff, we get to cut them down and then make ways that we can relate to each other and stay connected. That's us building the houses there. Now we ain't even got to be in the same city and state. I ain't even got to be live or nothing right now. We're connected still though. We're sharing thoughts still, and that's playing out in our own life that make better results now. So we're manifesting what we're doing in the spiritual world in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension. But since it takes a while for the mind to accumulate, sometimes the event is slower to manifest into a 1, 2, and 3rd dimension. But eventually, no matter how many months and years it takes, once the spirit's up there long enough, it will manifest as physically people, y'all have enough money to move together. Or everybody actually move into the same neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Because God will be creating all kind of situations. God will use one person as a vessel to get into real estate. One person. God will use another person as a vessel to become a musician. God will use one person as a vessel to become an actor. And then if we soul group, we just all come to the table and be like, hey, we don't even want to live around the world. Let's buy this little block in Atlanta, or let's buy this little block in New York, or whatever like that. And then we just all live on that block. That police ain't got to worry about, because we so hard in our spirituality. What crime is we committing? What's that? That's how God do it. But everybody be for themselves because they're lost into the world. So one person become a musician. Oh, I'm just here for my narcissism. One person become a beauty petition. Oh, I gotta take care of what I got going. Ain't none of us got no godly mission for us to all stick together. That's the thing. None of us got no godly mission. That goes for other half, consort energy, that male and female, that go for corporations. Us as men, let's build something so we can build shelter even for other people we don't like. For our expression of the man love, divine masculine, the divine feminine. Y'all secretly be in competition, so your best friend really be your worst enemy at times, and it take about 3-4 years or 19 years of your life before y'all had that explosion, due to accumulation, and y'all knowing how to be secret. It's all kind of weird stuff going on and stuff like that. So we gotta learn how to get out of all these fart clouds. We gotta learn how to get all these fart clouds and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? All is one and one is all. But if we don't know what position to play to bring that together, it's gonna be chaos until we get there. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be chaos until we get there. One person trying to lift a brick, nobody told them to lift a brick. One person trying to keep count of all the papers and stuff like that, and the dates and stuff. And that person ain't had no business trying to do that, and then they get all confusing and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And then everybody who ain't supposed to do that start competing to see who could do it better now, and then no one's fighting no good fight. No one's fighting no good fight. Where we all come together and create our own circumstance and make the Jews be like, hey, I think we look in the mirror every day, and I think our faces will look better on this dollar bill or something like that. So how about it? Now we can't never. Now I that's what kind of situations I like to be in, problems I like to be in. You know what I'm saying? Having to meet appointments and stuff like that, and interviews with people in the shadow government and stuff, and have discussions like that. Like, hey, last time I looked in the mirror, I ain't need no plastic surgery on my face. I think my face should be on a $10 bill or something. Like, I said something like that. Like, I want to be in these rooms and stuff, like where I can talk like that. You can't do that down here if y'all ain't doing y'all consort stuff right. Can't do it. Y'all never gonna get there, because every time y'all even get a crumb, it's just purely for you. It ain't for all, for us to not have to be breaking nails and having to wear steel-toed Timberland Jesus Christ boots in the first place with a Jesus Christ logo on the side that I thought was a basketball in Jordan. You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't even have to do all that in the goddamn first place to get these things, and we was going to go ahead and create it for ourselves and work together as a team. We wouldn't even have to go combat each other to go get it from the people that's doing what I'm talking about. You ever heard of Queen Elizabeth and Prince James, or whatever their name is? That looked like a consort to me. I'm saying, you ever heard of the president and the first wife? That looked like a consort to me. You being somewhere in jail or having about 12 kids you can't take care of or something like that, but you want $1 million in your lap and you want to change the world and have your face on the back of the money. That dream seemed far-fetched from you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we need to understand all those lost circumstances and stuff and figure out ways to come together so we can get to the circumstance and stop fighting each other just to get the things that these people did of what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. Now, also, we got Uranus, Trine, and Pluto. So this is putting us in a situation where our uniqueness, originality is going through a transformation. You got to change your uniqueness, your originality, your individuality. You got to change, rebel, and oppose against something that's outdated and transform it before Pluto transform it for you. And then you got so many blemishes on your light, on your status, which you're known for. You'll never be able to transmute that and be known for something which you want to be known for. You're always going to be known for something you don't like, and something like that you can't force another person to change their way of looking at you and stuff like that, no matter what you do. So you got to be careful and things of that nature. With this trine, it's giving you the gift to go ahead and transform it, and it's giving you the wiggle room. So the wiggle room got energies in it where your comfort zones is still able to play out and not look like it's the issue. So you need to be looking at your comfort zones and looking at the percentage scales of what are the issues there. Because comfort zones look like things you're comfortable in, but it also prevents you from doing things you need to do based on insecurity, not having the ability, or making you uncomfortable. And a lot of times, what you think the right thing to do is creating an idea and an action that suit your comfortability or suit a protection of a vulnerability or put you back into a comfort zone where whatever that you're trying to do could be done much more easier. And a lot of times those are energies itself that set you back. Those kind of circumstances. Because you're directing energies in wrong areas. You have to actually learn how to gain comfortability or learn that uncomfortability has nothing to do with what's wrong in the universe or something is working against you. When you feel uncomfortable or the vibe ain't right, it ain't that message, because all of these energies are messages. That message ain't telling you something wrong. That message is meant for something else. That message is for you need to adjust something or gain an ability. See, y'all be going through certain energies, and then to protect yourself or deal with these energies, y'all use things that help y'all in other areas for that. And that might not be the weapon, the sword for that. That might be a blockage for that. And then when you close the door on that event, you actually block things God needed you to see to build another sufficient spaceship to go where you need to go. But you be thinking it's a right thing to do in a 1, 2, and 3rd dimension. And in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, it's you closing the door on something. And because it had energies behind it of things that put you in fear, things that put you in a vulnerable space, make you feel naked. As a spirit, you ain't got no mental chakras around it, so you feel naked. You ain't got no cloths, no Adam and Eve's cloths, no thoughts and feelings or know-how to go about that situation when you're going through that astral travel as a spirit. As a space, when you're going through that space, you ain't got no spaceship, so you feel negative, vulnerable in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension. In the spirit world, you don't got a thought or a feeling or know-how or an ability to deal with those astral travels or that current water you're swimming in as a spirit, so you don't got no submarine, spaceship up there speaking. So for the most part, that's the only reason you feel negative and vulnerable. In the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension, Walt Disney indoctrination made y'all think that that's attached to Christianity, Western Hemisphere way of thinking. So y'all would chalk that up in a polarized energy of these is one of the things in the toy boxes of negativity. So you would make that one of the toys in the box of negativity. So all the things you got negative as toys in your box of negativity, right? That's one of them. Now, you might meet a situation in your life where it remind you of one of your toys in that box of negativity and things of that nature. So you start thinking like, oh yeah, this remind me of that toy. And that toy, I don't really like that toy. So I don't really want to do that situation. And that situation, now you're using one energy, pouring it into another area it had no business being in. Now you prejudging. Now you're carrying baggage, trauma, spiritually speaking, right? And that's going to accumulate as your facial features and way of acting when you think you're doing the right thing that actually prevent a gatekeeper from opening that door or opportunity for you. You know what I'm saying? And you developing an untrustworthy aura, aka one of the toys you got in your backpack, bringing it along in this life school when you're walking in the hallway. You know what I'm saying? And you forgot that wasn't a class on your schedule. And you try to get in that class because you really wanted that class. But the things you bring in is from classrooms that ain't got nothing to do with that class. So the teacher looking at you like, I don't like what you got in your book bag. You looking at it like, what's wrong with me and stuff like that. You're not even thinking about the things the way the teacher look at it, aka the gatekeeper in that classroom that you want to be in for that semester. You're not looking at it like that. You think, oh, I'm just a student. We all got backpacks and stuff like that. From the teacher was a student before. The teacher was like, damn, for me to become a teacher, I know for me to be in this room as a gatekeeper, I had to take a lot of stuff out my book bag. You the student, you're not even considering the teacher perspective. So you from the student perspective, all students got backpacks. So that's just normal. You're not even thinking about it. So when you go to that classroom, you want to go for that semester, you got a big ass backpack because you're not even thinking from the teacher perspective, this is what it takes to get in a room. You not having a lot in your backpack and you know how to keep notes. So you just got a planner or something like that. So you come prepared. You ain't got a whole bunch of stuff from other classrooms that I know once you go in that book bag, if I was to let you in, this is going to play out results of you being distracted. And you probably got a cell phone or something in there. So you already got other issues you ain't take care of to have enough discipline for me to even put you in here. But the teacher ain't going to say that, aka the gatekeeper ain't going to say that. The gatekeeper is just using wisdom, looking at character, aka each student to see how big a person book bag is. Oh, this person book bag look flat. They could come in. This person book bag heavy as hell. I ain't letting them in. The students with the book bag not even considering that thought form. So they're just thinking, oh, what's wrong with me? Is it the clothes I got on? Oh, I ain't doing something right. Oh, and then might not even think about it and take the book bag from their back while they're in front of the classroom that they want to go in and start looking in it and stuff like that. To make the teacher look at them even worse. Like, oh, this person too much baggage. AKA the gatekeeper looking at you like, oh, you're not what I need at the moment. Yeah, I can't hire this person. Even if they don't tell you that, they just ain't gonna call you. You gonna go to that job next week and see the person who had the interview after you. You gonna see them working there, and you gonna see you ain't get called yet. You know what I'm saying? Real good spiritual game. You know what I'm saying? Now look, we got this also Grand Trine. That's getting ready to happen too. Moon, Uranus, and Pluto specifically in Earth and things of that nature. Thank you so much for the cash app. Scared to say the name at the moment. I was like, I gotta wait. See, because you know I got a lot of trolls. Sometimes the trolls make it bad for y'all. Yeah, see, this might be a troll. I meant to take it off the recommendations. Yeah, I meant to take it off the recommendation. And just fart clouds all over the place. All right, y'all won't hear that no more. All right, now. So for the most part, we're having a Grand Trine. So with this Grand Trine energy, right, it's going to give us this gift to be totally lost into the Moon, Uranus, and Pluto. So we're going to be lost into looking at the things we need to transform, the things that we think we need to take our charge and be more unique and original in, and change, rebel, and oppose against old and outdated things. And we're going to be emotionally connected to it and be more self-aware and react to it or look at external things that put us in fight, flight, or fight mode or in comfortable zones. Now, you got to make sure with the Moon, Uranus, and Pluto energy that you're not directing these energies in unwarranted areas because you may lack purpose. So in your process of developing a purpose, you will blame anything that's blocking it. But that's because you don't got it yet. When you got a purpose, you're too busy doing it and things of that nature. And showing others, whether they like it or not, and being the example of it. When you don't got a purpose, you're waiting around for someone to give you one, so it plays out in victim mode energy. So you'll start directing unwarranted energies and blaming people for things they shouldn't be blamed for, things they not even stopping you, but you're giving them energy. And depending on how petty you are or narky you are as a spirit, you might deep down know that. So you'll create some Adam and Eve delusion, changing narrative way to be seen, but it be from the root of that. So you might give negative energy to your partner, people at work, your parents or something like that, and make them feel bad about something that ain't even a root cause of what made you want to come up with that idea in the first place to make them feel bad. And it'd be based on something that purely they don't have anything to do with. So they might create a comfortable situation for you, right? Now, the comfortable situation is allowing you to have to do your own shadow work. So you might be scared to leave the nest or in some way, shape, or form. Now, when life hits you and God puts you on a purpose, or if you don't got no purpose yet, you're going to still feel that energy of knowing you need to leave the nest. So when you spend that time of not having a purpose, but then having to deal with that energy also, you might start developing fart clouds in your mind because an idle mind is in the devil's playground. You might swing on the monkey bars and start feeling like the comfort zone you in is your issue. So then you might start being negative at the people who created that circumstance for you. So in reality, these people not stopping you from leaving, but based on the situation they created for you, you might start complaining you don't like dinner tonight. And you're tired of dinner and stuff like that, and this, that, and the third, and giving them all this weird energy and making it seem like you're incapable of being able to eat right because of their dinner. Where really that root cause of what you're expressing is you are scared to just leave. And this person is not stopping you, but you're blaming their ability to create a comfort zone for you as you're victimizing energy at the moment. And you have to do enough shadow work to put yourself in that aspect if you have that weird fart cloud self-entitlement resentment on you, that if you are an adult and you got that resentment, or you're still in that process and you just got out of high school or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to develop that and be self-entitled in areas that protect you from your vulnerability, so you don't even think you're being self-entitled. And you be thinking you deserve something that no one ever would give you, not even God think you deserve that. So it's about real shadow work down here. You know what I'm saying? Now, getting into the houses, right? You have to pay attention to your earth houses. Your earth houses is going to be the main focus. So that's going to be the area of life that you don't need to do everything I'm breaking down, and put yourself on a higher octave so you can become more productive and you can manifest being a millionaire. You know, or at least have a potential where someone could look at you and be like, I can see that. That's already another spirit. You created, as a spirit, you created a mind, a light form, a body to express it, that another spirit could pay attention to, that you ain't had to use fear and things. So now you're attracting like-minded individuals. They give you their energy, their thoughts and feelings directed towards you because you made them pay you attention. So that's where their energy flow. And then you give them an idea to do something. So both of y'all is creating energies in your own space, but connecting y'all energies together too. And then when multiple spirits do it, it don't matter what scale each spirit on, our word is bond more than whatever any other group is doing to make whatever they doing, especially if they doing negative stuff, they'll be able to get away with it because the universe is not a respecter of persons, individual. The universe is made from all of us. Teamwork makes the dream work. So it don't matter what we're doing. Ain't no such thing in that realm as good or bad. It's just what's right and fair. So when you create a circle, when you're just playing out that energy, God don't know about voices and what y'all doing. It just know about energy. So anytime we're practicing the energy equilibrium, regardless of words or the meanings we put behind it, when we do the witchcraft of it, that's all the universe knows. So the universe support that because we're doing how we made the universe. Teamwork makes the dream work. So anytime a group of people could come and agree on something, right, and it's multiple of them, their energy work hard. Now, when you got a group of narky, power thriving individuals, right, they're going to come together, still do the energy, but the reasons they're doing it for might be for their biases and stuff and manipulation. So this is how the shadow government don't be meeting their karma, because the universe just see it as, hey, these people know how to come together, and they teamwork makes the dream work. Hey, so whatever they're making from it, hey, whoever know how to do that is going to work for them. So they just knew how to do that and did it, but did it for them. See what I'm saying? We have a hard time doing that. The universe is not a respecter of persons and what you think or feel. If you know how to bring that together with others, that's what make the universe. That's what the universe going to respect. So we just have to become powerful spirits to make the universe move in a better way of the one we've been complaining about, that we know who created that concept now for their will. They figured out how to make y'all do what they want y'all to do, even when y'all think y'all ain't, and doing something rebellious or something like that. It's called reverse psychology. So they've been learning about the universe for you to even know that term universe, and going to encyclopedia to even know what it means. These people doing it 10 times 20 plus extreme volume X. You wouldn't know nothing about encyclopedia or psychology if you ain't gone Google or something or been taught in school. So these schools is built off men who came up with that do it 10 times 20x Super Saiyan plus in areas you can't fathom, which is why you have to learn somebody's alphabet and language. Your grandmother ain't wasn't at the table with it. See what I'm saying? It's just as simple as that. Y'all better learn. This is a dog-eat-dog world. Get with some spirits that's like-minded so you can feel a little bit safe, especially for you females. You know, get out that narky energy, because you're going to be breaking nails anyway from the shadow government, and then you somewhere with a man that's a shadow. So all that dash door stuff and stuff like that, you're working for that man, he ain't on the passenger side or he ain't driving. So anytime some type of creeps out there and stuff like that, that man can't save you. But that man got you on Grand Theft Auto missions and stuff like that, in the mix of this dog eat dog world. Go get somebody that you could goddamn connect with. Lord Jesus Christ, I feel for y'all. It's a dangerous world. Jesus. You females need you dash dorshing like Sonic the Hedgehog doing Grand Theft Auto missions for a shadow man that's not even a whip with you. You better have a man or at least a sibling or something that's a man that you can call. You know what I'm saying? And the only reason you got that shadow man job because you and your man check is going towards something y'all get ready to do that y'all can create jobs and make employees off of. So y'all just at the ground stage or something. And so you better have that man you can call. If anything happen, if you don't need him on the passenger side, that'd be even better. Or he driving. What y'all be lost into? Y'all, it's crazy down here. Y'all crazy humans. Y'all must don't know how scary the world is. Y'all, a lot of y'all need to come live where I live at a little bit, and you'll know what I'm talking about. Then you'll have that idea in your mind. It don't matter even if your car in the driveway for the night. Lock the door. I talked to females from the suburbs before. Suburbs around here and going to Euclid, Cleveland and stuff like that. It's a whole different world. You could literally go to Walmart with them and it's not a thought in their head to lock the door. Windows rolled down, cell phones still in the whip, everything. And come out and still be there too. I would never feel comfortable in that position. Real. And I had to feel like a bad guy. Just saying, man, roll up the windows and lock the door. If I got to feel like a bad guy saying that, yeah, that proved to me right there. It's really different worlds down here. You know what I'm saying? It's really different worlds down here. I don't care if I know my neighborhood or whatever like that, and there ain't no possibility. It's still possible in my mind to feel comfortable rolling up the window and locking the door, even if the car in the driveway and I got a white picket fence and goddamn gated community. It don't matter in my mind where I'm from. It's still unnormal. I don't feel safe. I wake up in the middle of the night like balls, dick swinging everywhere. I don't give a damn. I feel uncomfortable. I got to go out there and roll up the windows and lock the door. Whole gated community. You know what I'm saying? You got to be 10 houses down at the beginning of the block somewhere just to come in where I live at. I got to get up. I don't care. I got to go lock the door. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Real shit. Just where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? Now, it might be a yin and yang, positive and negative to everything. Honey, look, babe, I swear to goodness that'll pour over in an area where you see that as positive. You know what I'm saying? Real, especially when it comes to spirituality energy and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff y'all try to transmute and call narc. No, it ain't. If you had a man like me, like what you think is toxic because you from a distance, no. In real life, you'll be like, God damn, yeah, that's a man I want. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all kind of be retarded and stuff like that, not even thinking, and be like, oh, you want a goofy, all friendly guy and stuff like that, and that's why you probably single right now or be unsure right now, and to be thinking about a guy like me. But then a guy like me in the real life, right? You'll be like, oh, no, that is the right thing. Because if I know we walking through the mall or something like that and bitch's eyes wandering too much, he the first one about to be like, yeah, bitch, you can't even try if you even wanted to, bitch. I'm spiritual and I got a mission with this bitch I'm with at the moment. And then you'll be a female like that. I ain't even got to say, I got to tell him to chill out sometimes. He cuss bitches out too when they start to have a wonder. You know what I'm saying? Then you'll start to realize, oh yeah, that is the kind of man I want. I think I'm tripping at the moment. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be somewhere just flunked out, insecure, and then settle with goofy niggas. And that's how y'all develop that insecurity when y'all out and about. Wondering eyes is what y'all argue about when y'all get back to the crib. Somebody who had wondering eyes too much. You females need to understand you want a man that already understand that energy. He's not a man you just can control and stuff like that, because once he feed off your energy and then he'll get that elsewhere, he feel like he gonna get something because he in a space of getting something he didn't get before. When you with a man that already been there and done that, a man that already know what they want, you ain't got nothing to worry about and things of that nature. Why? Because you know that man ain't got no wondering eye, because that man already had one and he couldn't find nothing there. But y'all get intimidated by them kind of men. Y'all get scared of them men. The first fart clouds y'all start developing is, ooh, I might could be disposable to him. He might make me feel like that. Then that be y'all dealing with y'all own stuff at the moment. Men like me look for women like that don't have that. See what I'm saying? Because that make a man like me feel like, oh, okay, I feel comfortable cussing other bitches out for her. You know what I'm saying? When you make a man like me feel like the fart clouds and stuff like that, that make a man like me feel like, oh, the way she looking at me, she gonna put me in a position where this is a competition. So she'll do me the way she think I'ma do her first. So whether that's dealing with cheating, whether that's dealing with like mental games, manipulation to make who care about somebody first and stuff, it's a challenge of how can I get him before he get me, even if I do give him to me. And that's like narcissism. Real men don't got time for that because I'm so busy doing shit for God with these motherfucking knuckles and things of that nature. God damn it, I ain't got time to come to the crib and still have to put up my fucking garden knuckles. I don't got time for that. I done been there and done that and seen where that go. I won't have time to even build nothing with these knuckles being distracted and all that. That's the point. You know what I'm saying? So real men is into companionship. Every female got a twat. So at some point, it ain't about the twat. It's about who I rather have as a twat. AKA replace the word twat with frustration. Everybody gonna be frustrated with someone. So it's about picking someone you rather be frustrated with. So y'all frustrations play out a lot better than the average individuals who ain't had no business being together and they was wasting their goddamn time. When you got a godly mission, it don't matter what frustration y'all come to. Y'all know that mission is more important. So yeah, you go to your mama for a little bit because I'm tired of your ass. And yeah, and I'm gonna go with the boys and go play some basketball and play the video game for a little bit because I'm tired of your ass too. And you tired of my ass. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, what's gonna keep us together? Because when your phone beat and my phone beat, we both made some money through that email. So goddamn it, eventually you gonna get tired of talking to your mama. I'm gonna get tired of talking to this nigga, homie cheese slap nuts, and then eventually we gonna have to swallow our pride and come back to this crib for the water. So if ain't nobody on no mission like that, no godly mission there, there's nothing to hold y'all together. Cause the only thing gonna happen is when you go to your mama, cause I'm tired of your ass. When I go with my boys and play video games and play basketball, cause you tired of my ass, what's gonna bring us back to that household? Nothing. Your friends and your mama is going to convince you how you need to stay here and get back on your feet and go get it elsewhere. My boys, my drunk ass auntie, the video game that I'm playing, the job I got, going to tell me I need to go ahead and separate and go somewhere and things of that nature. Why? Because we ain't got nothing in common. No godly mission. Nothing we started together. See what I'm saying? So the only thing that brought us together is once upon a time when the relationship started is how it ended. One person had the roof. One person had the car. One person had the job. Guess how it ended? One person don't need to go get their own roof over their head. One person got to go back down, get their own job and take care of their own bills. One person got to go get their own car now. You see how that works? I'm saying. So y'all got to be careful. It's a dog-eat-dog world out here, and you got to appreciate individuals that come in your life. Everything is for a reason, because when that time come that God show you this is what it's all about, that's when these fart clouds start coming in, and then that's when a retrograde play in your life way harder than somebody else's who wasn't planting bad seeds. Now, if you got Taurus in the first house, right, you got to pay attention to your first, fifth, and your ninth house. So, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you're not getting too outdated. Make sure in your first house you're utilizing expansion, wisdom, and things of that nature, and trying to become a more unique individual when it comes to your personality and things of that nature. Try not to be so following trends and waves and flights and stuff like that. Try to conduct your own, or if you is going to follow something, make sure it's your soul tribe, so you're not getting crumbs. Y'all producing something that everybody can have a position, or you could be in that position where you find a purpose and things of that nature, because each one teach one, and now you can feel a part of something, which is what all spirits want to do. Or we want to make bodies and forms and mentalities and actions we do to represent that every day, aka how children is made, and how businesses is made, and how buildings get built, and how meals get cooked. It's all important. Don't look at any of these things like it's one lesser than the other. That's being a narc. Now, second house, right? For all my Aries ascendant out there, you got to pay. Well, let me finish off the fifth house. The first house, right? So the first house, you're going to have to utilize Jupiter and Uranus. Expand your ability to be unique when it comes to your personality. Stop having a block solar plexus chakra, or letting that go to your head in your own ego. The fifth house, right? You're gonna have to utilize the moon and Mars. So you're gonna have to emotionally connect with your passions, but don't do things that you don't necessarily have to do, that'll wear and tear on your mind and develop as a physical illness also during this particular time. Especially if you already got something. Especially if you, like me, you had something since birth, from straining and stuff like that. You know, so these are things that really was out of your hands, but at the same time, you still got to reap what you sow. So the better you know how to deal with something, you don't have to use this as a frustration or a setback and let it get worse. You could use it to come up with better abilities, not be as ill, and use it as a testimony to teach others, and can smile. You know what I'm saying? And then the ninth house, you gotta utilize Pluto. You gotta transform something when it comes to your morality, your wisdom, your meanings and reasons about things. Now, Taurus in the second house, right? Now, you're gonna have to utilize Jupiter and Uranus in that house. You know what I'm saying? Expand that area. Learn more about what's going on when it comes to your value system. You know, your values is the people, places, and things that you value, and that develop as your value systems. And that become the seeds that you plant to build your self-esteem. And that can develop as gifts and talents. So start to learn that area. Expand. That's what learning means, being more aware. See what people, places, and things that you should be valuing. And is you getting the same energy from that or not? Now start to express your uniqueness and separate from those old and outdated thoughts that things you should no longer be valuing and planting seeds in, as far as people, places, and things. So that's Uranus and Jupiter being in the second house. Now in the sixth house, you got to utilize the moon and Mars. So you got to be emotionally connected to some type of passion that you're willing to do as a routine and pattern every day. And then for the start developing it. And then the 10th house, you got to utilize Pluto. You got to transform something about your status, what you're known for. You might be known for being a bullshit individual right now. Third house, Taurus in the third house. You got to utilize Jupiter and Uranus there. You know what I'm saying? You know, expand, learn. See if you're around the right friend, the right circle of friends in the environment, familiar with the right information, and see if that one is even helping you or not. And or so you can learn something else with the 180-degree angle from something that's distant from what you're familiar with, from what you've been learning. Or and then start to express your uniqueness and your originality, or start to change, rebel, and oppose against those things that's there. So you can put yourself into a better space to have better people, places, and things there that can support you. The seventh house, you got to utilize Moon and Mars. Start to get emotionally connected to your passions, motivations, and desires for your relationships and how you relate to others. And don't be so argumentative about it also. And then you have to utilize the 12th house and Pluto. Transform something about a dream. Just take more power and control over that, because you might be clinging on to something that's really a delusion. And then when Pluto take that person, place, or thing that you manifested in reality from that delusion from you when you wasn't ready, now you know what I'm talking about. So transform something that's dealing with your dreams, imaginations, or your fantasies and stuff like that, and ground it with the Capricorn energy and Pluto energy. Transform it and make Pluto and make it part of your status, what you're known for, and make it consistent. Capricorn. And now you can become a boss and accumulate things that deal with 12th house, your dreams, not the delusions. You see what I'm saying? Fourth house, right? If you got Taurus in the fourth house, then you need to go ahead and express some energies of expansion, learning, Jupiter, learn things that's going on with your home family and your private issues, or develop some emotional stability, or take care of some domestic issues in some manner, right? And then now be your unique self and change, rebel, and oppose against any old and outdated concept you developed during this particular time that you need to get out of, right? Start to change, rebel, and oppose against that. So that's Jupiter and Uranus, fourth house. Now, eighth house, right? You need to, do I got this right? Yeah, eighth house. So with the eighth house, you need to go ahead and start to use the moon and Mars. Now, the moon falls in the eighth house, but Mars rules the eighth house. So a lot of times you may feel emotionally withdrawn when it comes to trying to use your emotional intelligence or express how you feel about something. And you might be more predicated on your passions and motivations that lead to manipulating, because you're not putting the emotions behind it, due to the fact of the moon falling, but the moon ruling. So the moon gonna take the charge. So make sure that whatever you're doing, is something that your heart is into, or you're willing to go all into. Not something you're trying to be safe about, or be 1 foot in and 1 foot out, and need to see certain expectations before doing it. That leads you into doing the negative side of the eighth house, manipulating some shared values in some way, shape, or form. It's just in the context I just broke it down, it didn't appear to be that negative. But when it accumulate, it becomes what it means to be manipulative. It just start in a non-negative space, But that space itself come from the Babylon city of negative spots, places, though. You need to understand that too. You're driving around in the area, looking at buildings, thoughts and feelings you ain't got no business looking at, trying to remember to talk to and tell other people about on different streets in Babylon. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I mean about it. You know what I'm saying? You just thought you was being a tourist, seeing something nice. And then when you talking to other people, like what you just seen on other cities in Babylon, right? You really expressing something that's really negative, though, that you don't know that street was made from negative masons and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Now, for the most part, so be careful of that. You know what I'm saying? That you don't develop no manipulative energies just for the sake of the first starting point of an intent of you was thinking you was protecting yourself from being vulnerable. And the 12th house, you need to transform something in that area. You know what I'm saying? Take more power and control in your dreams and imaginations and your fantasies. So, all right, I said the 12th house, so I might have got things mixed up when it came to the third house. The third house, if you got Taurus in the third house, Pluto is the 11th house. So let me go back because I mixed that up. I knew I should have put my glasses on. Let me go back. Third house, Taurus, change, become unique when it comes to your surroundings. 7th house, emotionally connect to a passion when it comes to your relationships and networking. Then the 11th house is something you got to transform. The 11th house is you got to transform and take more power and control over and stuff like that. Or an association or an associate or something you associated with to receive public gain, Pluto going to take it from you before you was ready for it. So you need to transform what you are associated with already, because you know it's something that probably not grounded, but it just has too much comfort zones and earth element into it. But you need to transform it and take more power and control over that area. Okay, now the 4th house, it got the 12th house energy. So the 4th house that I was just breaking down, then the 12th house. Yeah, you need to go ahead and take more power and control over your dreams and your imaginations and your fantasies and stuff like that in your delusions. Because if you don't, Pluto is going to transform thought you had that was a delusion and transform it for you. Okay, now 5th house, right? If you got Taurus in the 5th house, this is going to be you having to get more wise about how you express yourself or how others are expressing themselves around you. And as you around individuals you can have fun and enjoy yourself with and entertain things that you're entertaining, and you can entertain them and they can entertain you. And as far as attention and stuff like that, and you can feel youthful around these individuals, start to learn these things right now. And what's not needed from that Jupiter energy, transmute with Uranus. Start to change, rebel, and oppose against those things, because now you can put that in the box of it being old and outdated, and you no longer need that friend or that thing that was taking you that off as a distraction because it was entertaining you. You know you no longer need it. Change, rebel, and oppose against it in some way, shape, or form. And then put yourself into the aspect of, you know what I'm saying, becoming new, unique, and original in that area. And that's the 9th house. I mean the 5th house. And then for the most part, then you got the 9th house. You need to start using the moon and Mars there, because Virgo going to be there. So you need to get emotionally connected to a passion about traveling internally, externally, or developing a moral system in some way, shape, or form that can help you go through smoothly with things, because you might think that the reason you ain't manifesting is because of you're not doing something right in your head. No, it's just your moral systems. It ain't got nothing to do with you not manifesting. It's actually got something to do with you not doing something. So I'm saying that's what it actually got something to do with. Now, for the most part, and then the 1st house, you need to make sure you transform something about your personality and take more power and control over something in your personal life and who you share in personal space with. Now, the 6th house, Taurus in the 6th house, right? You need to learn more about your work, health, routine, scheduling, things that you got as a responsibility, a routine and pattern. Then use Uranus, transmute it, change, rebel, and oppose against old and outdated things that become there. And then you have to utilize the 10th house, right? And use moon and Mars, right? Now the moon is debilitated in the 10th house, but Mars is exalted there. So try not to put too much energy on or too boastful or something like that. So you have to be careful of that too. But at the same time, you know, try to emotionally connect, because it's debilitated with the moon, to have emotional intelligence about how much passion on a percentage scale that you add into wanting to be seen a certain way or your business and career. And that will level the energy out of Mars not being too exalted, but still being able to go on every ride at Disney World if Mars was a kid at Disney World, aka when planets play out energies when they exalted. You know what I'm saying? So instead of burning yourself out doing one or two things and now you sleep and you couldn't enjoy everything, you know how to pace your energy not get too excited, and all your energy can be placed in the areas as needed, and all the support is needed can be placed there without getting withdrawn in one or two areas, one or two chakras, right? And then the second house, you need to transform something that deals with your values, what you're known for, how you're seen, um, and hold on, well, the second house. No, I'm saying the wrong thing. The second house. You need to transform something that you value, something you plant seeds in to build your self-esteem. So that could be a person, place, or thing. You need to take more power and control over that area before God take more power and control over it for you. Now the seventh house, right? Now if you got Taurus in the seventh house, you need to start being more wise or start to learn about your relationships, how you relate to others in some way, shape, or form. There's some foggy going on or something you're not doing right, or it might be nothing going on at all, but there's an area you need to pay attention to make it better, right? So, and you can start changing and rebelling and opposing against old and outdated things there with Uranus. Now, you have to utilize the 11th house with Mars and Moon, because Virgo there. So you have to be emotionally connected to a passion, motivation, or a desire when it comes to your associations, which you are associated with. So make sure you're putting in your efforts of teamwork makes the dream work of whatever you are associated with. You make sure you're not lacking your effort you're supposed to put in a cookie jar. You know what I'm saying? And then for the most part, when it comes into the third house, that's where you're going to have Capricorn at. You need to transform and take more power and control over your circle, your friend circle. You might be getting controlled by your friends or around friends that y'all ain't got nothing to control. So it's this unproductive energy that you're around. So you might need to put yourself into a situation where you transform that before God takes something from you. Pluto takes something there, and now you can't use it, and it's 10 steps backwards for you to even do what you were supposed to do in the first place. Now, eighth house, where Taurus is the opposite in. So for the most part, with Taurus in the eighth house, so you have to be careful that you don't feel debilitated. And if you need assistance, you swallow your pride and go ahead and do it. But at the same time, here's the thing: so it could create balance. Now, and it would come from the second house, whether that it's the person that got that sign of your second house or not. But other than that, with the eighth house, here's the thing, right? You might need to learn more about your deep desires, sexual energies, and stuff like that. Your what you pay attention to, your power and control issues and stuff, and what you're trying to manifest as far as your desires, and start to change, rebel, and oppose against old and outdated circumstances there to become more original and an individual and yourself. And then for the most part, then you have to go into the 12th house, and then you have to use the moon and Mars, right, in the 12th house with Virgo there. Virgo is debilitated there also, all these opposite, but for the most part, so make sure you're not debilitated. If you need assistance, ask and swallow your pride. You'll never know what God will show you through the vessel of whatever you're opening in your heart chakra to. But for the most part, get out your ego. But for the most part, here's the thing, right? You might need to use emotional connection to be passionately aggressive about something that deals with your dreams and imaginations, or at least express these things so you can know if it's in a delusion or not. Once you get the response from the world based on a blockage or someone telling you you're retarded or mentally ill when you expressed it, but in your mind you thought it was creative, now you can adjust it, whether you manifested a negative or a positive scenario. Now you know what to adjust, though, because you could manifest of you seeing that it works, but you was too scared to present it. And once you present it, now you know it works in the external world. So it still leads to adjusting from the equilibrium position as a spirit. So don't get too polarized. So you got to use the moon and Mars. And then for the most part, for the fourth house, Pluto and Capricorn are going to be there. So you got to transform something when it comes to your home, family, domestic issues, or something you're emotionally attached to. Now, if you got Taurus in the ninth house, right? Taurus in the ninth house, you're going to have to expand and learn. Jupiter likes to be here. So you got to learn, expand more about your ability to travel internally or externally. So internally, you got to start to be aware of that type of travel. Like, is your moral system right? Do you see things outside of you the right way? Or are you creating fart clouds that make blockages for you? Or you might need to start, you know what I'm saying, start learning about traveling or learning about new knowledges or spiritual systems and stuff like that, or expanding your awareness, broadening your mind in some way, shape, or form. And then start changing, rebelling, and posing against the things that you put in the box of it being outdated now, once you start to come to that conclusion. And then for the most part, now you can become more original in that area, and God will give you the ability to actually travel internally and externally now with more comfortability. And then now you have to utilize the first house, right? I mean, and the first house is um, Virgo. So that's going to be Moon and Mars. You're going to have to be emotionally connected to to some type of passion, motivation, or desire of something in your personal life that you're personally interested in. Personal interest, personal affair, which is the personal people, places, and things you choose to share your personal space with, or your personal insecurities, or your personal issues. These are things that you got to emotionally connect to being passionately invested in. So you get rid of these things and don't allow these things to become the lower octave of Mars. Allow you just to waste time in anger and aggression. And then you have to utilize the fifth house with Capricorn there. So you're going to have to learn how to transform or take more power and control over your ability to have fun and enjoy yourself, entertainment, creativity, expressing yourself and things of that nature. Not have a blocked solar plexus or something like that. Don't let Pluto come transform this for you, because it's going to be something that you already entertaining, something that you already think is fun and enjoyment, something that you already expressing yourself in and paying attention to, and God swipe that person, place on the thing right from you and down you 10 steps backwards. And then when you really waiting for God to open up that Hell's Kitchen window again and be like, oh God, I'm ready to express myself again. Fifth house. Oh God, I'm ready to have fun again and enjoy myself again. Ain't nobody stopping me. Fifth house. Oh God, I'm ready to be entertaining again and entertain others and stuff like that. So I got fifth house. You know what I'm saying? God might be like, go to hell. So you gotta keep game. So be aware. Now when it comes into the 10th house. Now let's say you got Taurus in the 10th house. Taurus in the 10th house, now it wants you to add more wisdom, knowledge, meanings, and reasonings, and broad philosophical points of views of things. Start to learn about your status, what you're known for, how you're seen, so you can expand it and not get stuck in a small world or a small space or get small accumulations from your status and stuff like that. So it wants you to expand. And then for the most part, now you use Uranus. And you use Uranus. So let me see. So for the most part, now you got to put yourself into a situation where you take all the things that you put in the box. Once you learn, you're going to put those things that you learn and be like, all right, now I know what's old and outdated. Then put that, now you start to use Uranus and start to change, rebel, and oppose against those things, right? So you could be a more unique, original, individual development of a status and shit like that. I mean, stuff like that. I keep forgetting it's a PBS channel. Now, for the most part, then you have to use the second house. The second house got Virgo there. So you have to utilize the moon and Mars. Be emotionally connected to with your to some passion, motivation, or desire about the things you plant seeds in, or the people, places, and things that you value, or in some way, shape, or form, and that develop gifts and talents when you start to plant seeds in that area. And then you have to utilize the sixth house with Capricorn. Transform and take more power and control over something that you are working on every day as a routine and pattern, or something that you look at as a responsibility or a duty or obligation. You got to put yourself into a situation where you transform this, or Pluto will take one of these things right from you. You know what I'm saying? That you thought was comfortable, that you was doing as a routine and pattern. But goddamn it, you need to transform it so even the goddamn 10th house can expand. So keep that in mind also. Taurus in the 11th house, right? This is going to be with Taurus in the 11th house. You need to expand, add more meanings and reasonings and wisdom, and start to learn more about your associations and what you are associated with and how you conduct yourself in the public arena, and also to receive public gains in some way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? Or being in unfamiliar circumstances. Now, you need to go ahead and learn more about that so you get out of, so you can use shadow work and stuff like that, and therefore start using Uranus there. Uranus rules this house. So now you can play out the natural energy so you can be around the right people, places, and things, and separate from the wrong associations that you don't need to be in, but you was foggy in because it had comfort zones. But you know you need to do something else. You know you need to get the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Just cause grandma keep buying you video games every year don't mean that you being an adult and you need your own apartment so you can have a video game in it. You know what I'm saying? Now look, check this out. Now, then you have to use the third house, right? The third house you have to use with Virgo there, the moon and Mars. So you got to be emotionally connected to some passion and motivation and desire about your surroundings, your environment, some friend you got that you can help rub shoulders with, or they can help you and you can help them as a team in some way, shape, or form, and swallow your pride and start to worry about the real things, not y'all fart cloud thoughts and feelings, and who can bend and kneel to the other person first. And that's what y'all call relationships type stuff. Then you got to use the 7th house. You know what I'm saying? Which is Pluto. You got to transform something going on with your relationships, or how you relate to the circumstance. You might not be relating right. And something got to be transformed, or God or Pluto going to transform things for you and take that person, place, or thing that you was in a relationship with or networking with right from you. Now you ain't going to be able to network or relate to nobody when you want that Hell's Kitchen to be open and you start sweating. And you got gasoline drawers on and Barbie doll panties. And Batman Breeze, male or female, don't matter. And then last but not least, if you got Taurus in the 12th house, right? Um, um, with Taurus being in the 12th house, this is putting you in a situation where you need to start to expand. Jupiter rules the ninth and the 12th house. So you need to start to expand, start learning more and things of that nature about your dreams, imaginations, or fantasies and delusions, and start deciphering and separating and comparing and contrasting so you can start putting faith, belief, and imagination in the right things. So when you have a dream and an imagination, you know which one is the delusion and you know which one is the creativity. Now, once you go to that esoteric drawing board and do that, now put that Jupiter energy into Uranus aspects. Start to put what you think that's outdated and start to change, rebel, and oppose against those things. You know what I'm saying? And then for the most part, now you got to use the 4th house with Virgo, right? And then you got to use Moon and Mars. Now, the Moon rules here, right, is at home, but Mars falls in the 4th house. So you might pick the Moon energy more than Mars, and then now it's not equal balance energy. So be careful of that. You might be debilitated when it comes to passion, motivation to deal with domestic issues, or to gain an emotional comfortability, or to deal with something, or to get to your privacy, or just to deal with things and things of that nature in the heart space, or family scenarios and stuff like that. So for the most part, you might be more debilitated in that area, and you might take more of the energy of the Moon because it's home here, just emotionally going into your own world and letting Jesus take the wheel or something like that, without taking no accountability of the fart percentage level of which you apply to the situation for you to be around to experience an event like that. AKA, it's for a reason. You added to it for you to be a part of it. Now, for the most part, I don't care if you could justify you being a victim or not. Still take self-accountability. So next time the same scenario don't happen and you don't waste somebody else's time. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much for the donation, Cynical Dre. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. And I'm a number 9 individual. My life path number 9. And I appreciate that. Now look, check this out. So 4th house, you got to use the Moon and Mars, but I just broke down where it could be debilitated because your life is a little different than other people because Moon ain't ruling there and Mars ain't debilitated for someone else who had another alignment. You got this alignment, so I had to break that down first before we get to the surface level of it. Surface level of it though is this: use your emotional connection for some passion, motivation, and desire that deal with something of home, family, domestic issues that can be resolved, or some emotional space that you can go in that you ain't got to think about fart clouds, and you can put more seconds, minutes of energy, aka fart clouds of thoughts and feelings, in positive and productive things. So sometimes we have to find a heart or actual place in our home that space can be more to that energy vortex. And then you have to go to the 8th house, right, where Capricorn is at, and it's sextile. So you might manifest opportunities from other houses that can help it out, such as the 10th and the 6th house. But besides the fact, just Capricorn being in the 8th house, right, you need to transform and take more power and control over a deep desire, passion, motivation, or something that you know you've been manipulating to obtain. And you need to start being a person who know how to be used so you can use an individual. And then it could be and vice versa, whoever you manifest or whoever you've been manipulating, God gonna take that person, place, or thing right away from you, even before, if it's a person, before they knew you was rocking them to sleep. And then you're gonna be somewhere 10 steps behind, even harder to do what you was trying to do in the goddamn first place when you was trying to do a shortcut in the 4th and the 6th dimension, aka the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension, making your goal that much more further away from you. So when you come up with an idea to make something closer in the spiritual world mentally, in a 1, 2, and 3rd dimension, you slow up the process and actually make more distance between you and it. How about that? And I love all y'all from the bottom of my house. I'm bottom of my house. Hey, I'm in the basement though. Yeah, I do love all y'all from the bottom of my house and the bottom of my heart, because that's what I meant to say. So God must have put that in my mind. But for the most part, I had a point. That's why I mixed up words. The point was, stop making things heavy. That H word. Stop making things heavy, because when you put a lot of stuff on your mind, the only reason you're doing that is stop. I like to look at everything as an instant. Stop. What is you doing? As a spirit, your time is different there and here. Things speed up here when you're in there for a long time in the spirit world. Things slow down here when you're down here too much and you're not in the spirit world. So slow down, right? Anytime you're sitting around and developing a frustration or something like that, it's because of what? You're coming up with a whole bunch of thoughts and feelings of trying to come up with a shortcut. Now, when you sat around and did that, right, that shortcut looked like, oh, this is a good idea. I can reach my goal and destination a lot faster. But what you do, you live backwards because you're lost into a 1 to a third dimension expectation. When you understand it, invert it and revert it back to where it's supposed to be spiritually, what you understand is this. All the thoughts and feelings itself, God in the spirit realm, and let's include the universe this time because y'all fart clouds, for lack of better words, don't care about the words and what the meaning you put about it. It just care about the energy. And you put in so much thoughts and feelings that in the spirit world, you thought it shortened up a time to reach a destination. But in the physical world where things accumulate, you made something more heavy because it's more thoughts and feelings. So in the physical world, it's going to play out as it need way more events to happen and experiences before you can reach that destination. So really all you did was the shortcuts you thought you was coming up in your mind as shortcuts made more distance down here. AKA all the thoughts you came up with in your head to think this gonna get me to my route easier was just a whole bunch of things you didn't have to do in reality that end up looking like it took you 10 years to actually do what the hell you need to do. And I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. God damn it, you better motherfucking believe it. And I ain't mean to curse, but YouTube, you know it's for God. You know that curse word wasn't even a curse word. You know that one was for God, straight out of love. I love all y'all. Better believe that. You know what I'm saying? See a lot of y'all in person.